If I fail to catch it, we will toss it again. Are you ready? Heads was the call. It is a head. It is your choice. You may take
Rutgers is called heads, and they have called it correctly, so they want the football, and they will receive to start this football game. And Temple indicating which goal they want to defend. That means that Bill Wright will do the kicking off now for the Temple Owls to start the football game. And the captains again shaking hands and wishing good luck to each other. They have played 2 one-point football games now in the last 2 years. You can't ask to get any closer than that. Temperatures, we indicated the mid-50s. Slight wind out of the east, and it's a mostly sunny afternoon indeed. We may reach the 60s before the day is over, but nobody here is going to complain. It is an absolutely perfect day for college football.
You know, the winds may be out of the east, Sam, but this is an open stadium at the top, and the winds just swirl around, and you really can't go by what the guys at the airport are saying in terms of wind direction. It just comes in here and swirls all over the place.
And if it does, presumably it'll affect Rutgers more than Temple, because Rutgers is expecting to put the ball in the air more than Temple. Although that is not to say that Lee Saltz will not throw the football. He is coming, as Harry mentioned during our pregame report, coming off his finest performance as a collegian. 14 out of 20, over 300 yards. Of course, he got a little break on a 96-yarder that went for a touchdown. Look at this. Rutgers wins by 3, Temple by 1, then Rutgers by 1. So the last 3 games have been decided by a total of 5 points. In the overall series, Rutgers leads at 8 games to 6. And as I mentioned, Dick Anderson has a very special place in his heart for Temple, because his first win as a head coach was last year over the Temple Owls in a 10-9 football game. Jim Cooper had 3 field goals. That accounted for all of Temple's scoring. Eric Hochberg had a touchdown pass. Angstad had a field goal, and that accounted for all of Rutgers scoring. So we are about set to go. Eric Young in a deep receiving spot along with Albert Smith now for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Here's a kick by Wright. It is end over end. And 5 yards deep in the end zone is Young. He will down it for a touchback. And so Rutgers will begin this football game with a drive from its own 20-yard line. And we will set the offensive skill position people. Gagliardi begins at quarterback, with Prescott and Albert Smith starting at fullback instead of tailback. Hoover, Raffelli, the wide receivers, and Bruce Campbell is the starting tight end. You'll see a lot of Allen before the day is over. Brenner, Udovich, Dillon, Getz, and Keating. Dillon being the key there. He replaces the starter Fine. So Dillon replacing an injured center to start this football game. From the 20-yard line, Rutgers 1st and 10 from the I formation. And Gagliardi to throw it. He drops it out here to Prescott, to the 30. And still on his feet, he falls forward to the 35-yard line. But that will be a Rutgers first down. The tackle made by Bilkauskas was there. But it's a first down for Rutgers on the first play from scrimmage, and we'll set that defense now. With Drukenbrud, Davis, Moore, and Ward up front. A veteran crew. The linebackers, outstanding crew. Smith, the leading tacker. Pilkauskas, the second leading tacker. Dominowski. Bruton and Herter at the corners. And Todd Bowles back after having missed 3 games. This is Smith. Across the 40 to the 44-yard line. A gain of about 8 yards on first down.
Sam, they have Smith playing fullback today, I believe, and Prescott, the normal fullback, is in a tailback. Bruce, what's the explanation there? Do you know?
Well, they're trying to get more speed into the football game with Albert Smith starting closer to the line. They think Prescott has the outside speed, and on the first play, you saw he's a pretty good receiver as well. He's the added dimension that Rutgers needs offensively.
Of course, it'll change up the blocking assignments for Smith. More blocking responsibilities coming out of that fullback spot.
Second down and 2. Then the upback gets the call. Look at Smith ripping across the 50-yard line to the 48 of Temple. And so Rutgers is moving the football here in the first drive.
He looked like a natural fullback that time.
He sure did, and he's got the quickness to get off the mark.
Well, the big difference is he's starting much closer to the line of scrimmage, and instead of being able to pick the block, he's got to just explode. Here's Smith following the blocking well, and Rutgers so far in the football game mixing things up, going to the air on first down, then going to the ground on first down.
Split Hoover out wide to the right. On 1st and 10 from the 49, Gagliardi's in trouble, and he throws it away. Very, very smart move by Joe Gagliardi. Pilkauskas was chasing him all the way back to the 40-yard line, and also Todd Bowles was there, but Gagliardi smartly got rid of the football.
Bob Pilkowski is one of several. Al's from New Jersey. He went to Voorhees High School, and we told you that he's not the fastest or the biggest linebacker, but he was able to come in here on the Red Dog after the play-action fake, read it perfectly, stayed with the quarterback, and got help from 45 there, John Smith, who is another fine linebacker out of Philadelphia's Penn Charter High School.
Second down 10, Rutgers from the Temple 49-yard line. We're just underway. I formation. The up back is Smith for a couple of tough yards to the 45, 4 yards to be exact. And he goes down there in the grass with number 49, Doug Davis. It'll be third down and 6.
Getting back to Smith in the fullback position, offensive coordinator Dick Curl said that he must make the crease expand, must make the pile move instead of waiting for the hole and hitting it. So that's the big difference. He's at the fullback spot today instead of the tail position.
Young is split wide to the right. Aaron Gibson, number 3, to the left on 3rd and 6, and Gagliardi in a short drop. Pressure, down he goes. Back at the 45-yard line. Temple got some pressure on him there. Pilkowskis led the attack. The middle linebacker again, the junior out of Voorhees, as Harry was talking about a moment ago. And here they all come.
You know, I'm surprised that the Owls are getting as much pressure as they have gotten so far today, because going in, they're not a sack-type team. Their defense has been maybe the one vulnerable spot, especially up front, but so far today in the first series, they're all over the quarterback, Gagliardi.
Matt O'Connell back at his 31. He'll hit the ball at about the 35, and he's punting to a deep man, Purvis Herder, who is inside his own 20. O'Connell with a good high spiral. Herder right on the 15-yard line. And there's no place to go. He is brought down right there. An excellent tackle by Louis Morrow, number 14. Also downfield for Rutgers was Will Dunster. So a punt that time of 41 yards, nothing on the return. There's a timeout on the field. It is scoreless here at the Vet in Philadelphia. We'll be back.
Full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
The Atlantic difference.
Some people have already discovered the Atlantic difference. They make more money at Atlantic. Make more money at Atlantic. Some people keep more of what they make with broker discounts, lower credit costs, and tax shelters at Atlantic. Keep more of what you make at Atlantic. Atlantic Financial. We can make a difference. Here's another way.
We can make a difference.
So Temple lays its hands on the football for the first time this afternoon, and they will begin from just over their 15-yard line. Lee Saltz is the quarterback. He's got Shelley Poole, number 44, and 6 Paul Palmer in the backfield behind him. Split receivers left and right. Then they start Hinnon out in motion. Palmer with Hinnon leading the blocking to about the 21-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards on first down. It'll be second down and 5. And Bruce Arians really likes his big tight end, Mike Hinnon, the sophomore out of Washington, D.C. He will lead a lot of Paul Palmer's rushes.
You know, today I think you're going to see Palmer try mostly to go right up the middle against the Rutgers defense as we look at the skill people for Temple behind Lee Saltz. Number 6, of course, the key guy, Paul Palmer.
We've got Andy Garzinski in at one receiver. Willie Marshall is split wide to the left, just at the top of your picture. And here is a delay. Oh, good tackle made in the center of the line there. Number 41, Tyrone Stowe, who, as I said in the pregame report, gentlemen, may be the best defensive football player on the field. He was not fooled by the draw.
No, he wasn't. And as we look at the Temple offensive line, they're a left-handed team primarily with Constant Rienstra. Rienstra, of course, their All-American candidate, their left guard, and they expect him to be maybe first-round, early second-round pick in the NFL draft.
It is third down and 5 now for Temple. Lee Saltz, the quarterback. He's got one setback behind him. Puts Palmer on a wing, and he gives it straight ahead to his fullback, Shelley Poole, and he will be 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down. Stopped by by Doug Kukowski, the sophomore out of Cleveland, Ohio. So it's 3 and out for Temple. In their first possession, they did not move the ball nearly as well as Rutgers did.
And Harry, oftentimes this year, Temple's been able to explode in their first offensive possession.
Yeah, they are a team that likes to get out there in a hurry, and that time on third down and short, they decided to put Palmer on the wing, trying to fool the defense a little bit, and kept it on the ground and came up short.
This is Kip Schenefeld, and it's a wobbly punt down to Will Dunster at the 38-yard line, and he's tackled all the way back at the 33. Keith Armstrong, with excellent special teams coverage by Temple, got downfield and dropped in for a 3-yard loss, a 39-yard punt, and a loss of about 3 on the return. So they net about 42 on this entire play. Not bad for Temple, but Rutgers has it back again with a timeout on the field. We are still scoreless.
Venus de Milo. Skin tone cream for that classic, timeless image of beauty. Venus de Milo smooths uneven tones and helps prevent recurring dark spots. Its special blends of moisturizers and emollients keep your skin brighter, clearer, younger looking, and silky soft. Venus de Milo Skin Tone Cream for that classic, timeless image of beauty.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
Milk chocolate, that's creamy, blending crispy, oh so dreamy. Gotta have it, it's so scrumptious. Love that chocolate when it crunches. Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
So following the exchange of punts, Rutgers nets 13 yards. They began their first series from the 20-yard line. They began their second series from their own 33. And they have receivers split left and right, and in a slot to the right now for the Scarlet Knights is number 36, Roy Hoover. One setback behind the quarterback, Joe Gagliardi, and that's Albert Smith, and he gets the call. Ooh. He was stuck, and he fumbled the ball. Let's see if the official rule whether he was down or not. They ruled he was down. He really was stuck at the line of scrimmage on a big, big hit, and he coughed it up.
That was a good hit by Filkauskas. I'll tell you something about this Temple team. As you watch them defensively, they are physical. Against Penn State, they knocked 7 players out of the field. Now watch Filkauskas, 53, put that head in there and really level a hit.
Something I've noticed already, gentlemen, is the fact that the Temple cornerbacks are getting a lot of cushion. Let's see if Gagliardi can take advantage of it with his wide receivers.
He's going to try on 2nd down and 9. He feels the heat, and down he goes. Look at this Temple pressure.
That's their 3rd sack already, Sam, and they went into the game in the first 5 games of the season, recording only 11, so they're way ahead of the average.
Chuck Kumbro is the man who brought Gagliardi down. The problem for Joe now is that he's going to be looking for that pressure on every pass.
And the problem in this play, his primary receiver was not open. He's now starting to look for a secondary receiver, sees the pressure is on, and has to eat the football.
It is 3rd down and 11 for Rutgers. They split wide to the right, and Hoover again in the slot to the right. Greg Raffelli is split to the left, and Smith remains alone setback, and Gagliardi wants to throw it. He delivers it right on the money at the 41-yard line. Running with the football is Roy Hoover, and he is chased out of bounds up around the 50-yard line, and that'll be more than enough for a first down.
Well, Sam, that
18
time...
18 yards, excuse me, Harry, 18 yards on the play.
The Owls were in a zone coverage. The linebackers in the middle are D'Amico and Filkauskas, and Hoover did a nice job to get open between them, and Gagliardi had time, and the ball was delivered to Hoover, and there's D'Amico, 61, trying to chase him down. That's a mismatch, and Hoover's angling for the sidelines. Nice play by Gagliardi to get the first down.
So here comes Rutgers again. Young goes wide to the right. Gibson in a slot to the right from the I formation. Gagliardi sprinting to his right. Delivers the ball right on the money at the 40-yard line. And that will be another Rutgers first down. The catch made by Young. Eddie Parker, the free safety who had an interception last week, was there to make the tackle, but not before Rutgers picked up another first down.
Now the big difference with the last 2 plays executed by Rutgers is that they're going to their wide receivers. Now, for the better part of the season, they've been going to their tight ends and their running backs, and they had hoped to put the ball in the hands of the wide receivers more. So far today, first he goes to Hoover, then he comes back to Eric Young, the fleet-footed freshman.
Good observation, Bruce. They indeed have thrown to their tight ends almost exclusively. And the kid straight ahead now. On a dive play is the running back Matt Prescott for a couple of yards to about the 35-yard line. And when they unpile, let's see where they spotted. They spotted right inside the 35. We'll give him a gain of 4. Andy Papalerdo made the tackle, the sophomore out of Pomona, Pennsylvania. It'll be 2nd down and 6 now as Rutgers moving into field goal range.
We talked earlier about Todd Bowles, the rover back, number 15 in that secondary for Temple. We get a close shot on his left forearm. He looks like Popeye with that wrapping he has to protect that broken bone.
Gagliardi play action, sprints left. He avoids the rush. Now stops and delivers the ball, and it is caught inside the 30-yard line. It was juggled around and caught by the big tight end, number 89, Bruce Campbell.
He got away with it.
That will be another first down, indeed.
He got away with it that time. He put up a ball, a real wounded duck, as we looked at this rollout to his left. And Gagliardi, with pressure coming from 61, D'Amico here, just put it up a floater. There were about 4 Owls and 1 Rutgers receiver there, and the Rutgers receiver came down with it.
Jeff Ward is the man he really escaped real trouble from. So it's first down at the 28, and here comes Rutgers in the I formation. Gagliardi, except for a couple of sacks, has been able to move his team. Not this time, however. Albert Smith is snowed under at the 30 at the 26-yard line after a gain of a couple of yards. Let's make it 2nd down and 8. Pilkowski's 53 again there to make the stop.
Let's take a look at some of the linebacker play here. 61 is D'Amico, 53 Pilkowskis. We told you the second leading tackler, and he just stands up. Albert Smith, the running back, and Pilkowskis got a lot of help that time. The Owls gang tackling defensively in that last play. There's Bob Pilkowskis from over in South Jersey.
Rodney Walker is out. Doug Davis into that defensive line now for Temple on 2nd down and 8 Rutgers at the 26-yard line. Gagliardi, short drop, and it's knocked down. Somebody got a paw up and knocked it back in his face.
And it was a blitz. Pilkowskis came on a blitz. It's really an 8-man front if you want to talk about the Temple defense. It's 4-4, but it's an 8-man front. And on this play, the linebacker blitzes. There Pilkowskis comes. Wide open area, gets the arm up and makes the fine play.
All of a sudden, he's a 6'4 linebacker with a jump like that.
3rd down and a long 8 now for Rutgers, and Gagliardi brings him out. He sends Greg Raffelli to the top of your screen as a wide receiver. Hoover is split to the left, and Joe goes straight back to pass. Throws an out pattern to Hoover. It's caught out of bounds. It will not be allowed as he caught the ball out of bounds. The coverage over there was by number 20, Purvis Herter. So on 4th down, the question is this range for Tom Angstead? The line of scrimmage to 26. The placement would have to be the 33 and the kick of 43. That certainly is within his range.
His career high is 50. Did it last year against Syracuse. Did it also in the 1983 season.
So they'll spot the ball right at the 33-yard line. Holding for him is number 87, Scott Drake. The placement, Angstad's kick is up. It's long enough, and it is good. A 43-yard field goal by Tom Angstad, and Rutgers has drawn first one of this football game with exactly 6 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's Rutgers 3 and Temple nothing. We'll be back right after this. In the game, there was perhaps a fear that if Rutgers fell behind early, it would be very difficult for them to play catch-up football, but that is not the case. At the 15-yard line, running with the ball is Craig Sawyer, a backup fullback, and he reaches the 30-yard line before being tackled, and so Temple will stop this drive with much better field position than last time. 13 yards on the return by Sawyer, and now Lee Saltz will set up shop. Well, now they take it back and mark at the 27-yard line. So he apparently tucks there, but it's still considerably better field position than he had last time.
41 yards, 10 plays, and mixed it up a little bit of diversity in that last drive for Rutgers.
Second time the Temple has touched the football today. Hinnant comes strong side to the right. In the I formation, this is Palmer. And that was Stowe. Tyrone was right there. I get the feeling it's almost his assignment today to follow Paul Palmer.
Well, he's going to have a tough assignment if it is, because Palmer's going to carry the ball upwards of 30 times. He's averaging 29 carries plus per season. This time around, they took the left guard Reenstra. Watch him come right at you here, 70. And a little counter step by Palmer to try to get outside, but he never got a chance because Stowe was on him in that backfield.
Rutgers in almost a flex sort of defense, which, as you know, is very effective against the run. This time, Paul trips the light fantastic to the 33-yard line, walking gingerly through the line there. Daryl Brittingham combining with Jim Pical to make the stop. So he picked up about 5 on the carry. It'll be 3rd down and 5 as you look at the Rutgers defensive unit again.
The Rutgers defensive front there, the linebackers led by Tyrone Stowe. Matt Bachman having a pretty good season. In the secondary, watch for 21, Steve Twomley, and number 2, Daryl Brittingham.
3rd down and 5. Let's see what Saltz does this time. Last time they elected to stay on the ground with Shelley Poole and did not get the first down.
They've got Palmer in the slot again, Sam.
Saltz has time. Trips and falls. Gets back on his feet. Avoids the tackle. And will be about 2 yards shy of the first down. They whistle the play dead. He fumbled the ball. So that is twice that Temple has touched the football, and twice apparently that they're going to have to give it up. And both times on 3rd down, they have slotted Paul Palmer. Once they elected to give it to the fullback on the run, and once they tried to pass and never delivered the ball.
And credit Lou Cipriano, number 80, for putting the pressure on Saltz and forcing him out of the pocket.
Kip Schenefeld punting for the 2nd time today. His first punt, 39 yards. Will Dunster in single safety, and he shanks this one off the side of his foot. Oh, takes a great Temple bounce inside the 10. At about the 8-yard line, what a tremendous break for Schenefeld, because he shanked the ball. And they kill the ball at the 8-yard line. 52 yards on the punt, and he nets 52. And so Rutgers sets up shop with their worst field position of the day. But the important thing for them here is that they've got it back again, and they have held Temple now in 2 successive attempts.
And they've held them with only 6 plays. That's the important thing for the Rutgers defense. You know, Kip Schenefeld 2 years ago was the 3rd best punter in the NCAA Division I. Last year he fell off a little bit. This year he's back up to 42 yards per punt average, and that 52-yarder is going to help that.
From the 8-yard line, Joe Gagliardi with 1 setback, Albert Smith behind him. He's going to throw it on 1st down. You got to love Dick Anderson for this. He's going for all of it. Downfield, and it is almost intercepted by Bowles. Todd had perfect position on the intended receiver, Eric Young.
Well, there's Todd Bowles, the rover back. Last year they had All-American Anthony Young, who's now with the Indianapolis Colts, in that secondary with him. And Bowles this year missed the first 3 games because of that broken bone in his left wrist. There's a look at his left forearm. He's got that wrapping around it to protect it. Still a little tentative in terms of hitting people, but the only way to break that, Sam, is get out there and bang it around a little bit. He played excellent defense against the pass that time.
And that cast or whatever contraption he's got may have hindered him in trying to catch the football as he comes across the 10 to the 11-yard line.
I'll tell you what the contraption is. He said he's wearing a fiberglass cast with a sponge rubber outside wrapping, and his fingers just can't break free as well as he'd like them to.
Let's take another look at Bob Pilkowskis. Already we've mentioned his name several times as he just comes right up, takes on the blocker, and that plugged up the hole, and Prescott had no place to go.
Boy, did he ever. He took Tony Rigoli on head-on.
Here's an interesting call. Do you play it conservative, leading early in the football game, or do you put it up and try to keep this drive alive?
It is 3rd down and a long 6. 1 setback. There's your answer, my friend. Gagliardi setting up the screen. Nice call. Albert Smith, and a better defensive play by guess who? Bob Pilkowskis, number 53, who drops him inside the 10-yard line, and Pilkowskis was not fooled at all. It looked like a good setup.
Well, the guy that helped force the play a little bit early was James Moore, who put pressure on Gagliardi. And Pilkowskis was able to get outside, read the screen, and made the play.
Purvis Herder, again the deep man, in a 3-man return setup here for Temple. And standing in his end zone is Matt O'Connell. He will hit the ball from about his goal line. He is an excellent punter. Good hang time, high spiral, and this one hangs for him at about the 47. Over the shoulder catch by Herder. Cuts it back up the middle of the 41-yard line and smacked down there by Louis Morrow again, who was just a great defensive or special teams player. 38 on the punt and a return of 8 yards. So it'll be a good opportunity now for Temple with field position in plus territory at the 41-yard line of Rutgers.
Great to follow a guy like Herder where you're looking at the defense coming right down your throat and you still decide to take it at him and attack. You got to love it.
Let's see if Lee Saltz can do anything here. His team trailing 3-0 in the waning minutes of the first quarter. Rutgers has done a number on the clock and on Temple. Play action. Delivers a ball, and it's incomplete, intended for Shelley Poole out of the backfield. He had deep receivers, namely Willie Marshall, number 84, down at the goal line, Harry, but he elected to go for his up bet.
Well, he went with play action, too, and that's what Lee Saltz has really controlled this year. He is such a great faker when he dishes or tries to fake to Paul Palmer and then looks up and will try to find one of his wide receivers. And he'll change those wide receivers. Right now, Garzinski's at the top of the screen in place of Gloucester. They got Willie Marshall split out wide to the right.
Hinnon is a wing on the right now, as Saltz just threw his first pass of the game with under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Palmer for 5 yards to the 35. You almost concede the 5 to him. It's almost like, we'll give you 5, Paul, just don't break a big one against us.
Well, you know what happened that time, excuse me, Bruce, was the linebacker was coming on the red dog, and it opened up the middle. There was nobody there, and then filling the void was Paul Palmer.
I was going to say that. He was gambling a little bit, and why not once in a while when you know Palmer's going to get the ball, try to blitz the way that Stowe did. Unfortunately, he went behind Mr. Palmer, whose quickness just took over.
3rd down and 5. They have not really had an enviable 3rd down situation in 3 possessions. 3rd and 5 is no bargain. And they give to Palmer. They're going to let him do it, and he does it. Inside the 30 to the 28-yard line, stopped there by the strong safety Lou Morrow, but a 7-yard pickup and Temple's first down of the game.
And you know what happened there? The last 2 times they had a 3rd down call, they put Palmer out on the slot. This time they kept him in the I formation, and with Shelley Poole 44 with the kick-out block there to lead the way, he picked up 7 when he needed only 5. So when you're down, you go with your best, and the best in Temple's case is Paul Palmer.
Marshall wide to the left and Garzinski to the right. Hinnant now comes strong side to the right in the I formation again for Temple. They're down 3-0 to Rutgers early on. This is Palmer. Oh, and a great defensive play. Getting his feet into it was Lou Morrow. And I think that's how he upended Palmer, or else Paul might have been off to the races.
Well, it looked like Trent Cornelius, the right guard, was the guy that was supposed to lead the blocking for Paul Palmer that time, but he got tangled up with Morrow. Let's take a look at it again with taking the pitch as Palmer sweeping, trying to wait for the block from Cornelius, and it really never got there. There's Morrow getting tangled up with Cornelius, and he just reached back and was able to pull down number 6.
Gain of 1, 2nd down 9 for the Owls. That's Gloucester in motion. And here's the pitch to Palmer. Here's a reverse to Marshall. Looking in the end zone, throws the pass downfield, and it is caught out of the field of play. It is caught by Keith Gloucester, but to Rutgers' credit, they were not fooled at all. They had double coverage on Gloucester. Number 2, Darrell Brittingham, and number 21, Steve Twombly, both there.
I don't know if Marshall's ever been in a punt, pass, and kick contest, but this is a pretty good throw, and it's excellent execution. It's the flea flicker, and watch this pass. He just ran out of real estate at the back of the end zone, but the ball was extremely well thrown. The man Brittingham was beaten, and it just didn't work, and it seems that last week also Temple just ran out of real estate outside the end zone.
He doesn't mind if he's beaten out of the field of play, I can tell you that. 3rd and 9. Gagliardi, or rather, Saltz over the middle, and it's complete at the 13-yard line. Caught by Willie Marshall, number 84, and that will be a Temple first down in the grasp of Darrell Brittingham, the senior free safety out of Delaware.
Well, the cornerback, Gene Austin, 26 here, gives up to the safety who's supposed to come up. Is that Morrow or Brittingham? And Brittingham was a little late. Number 2, as we look at it from behind Lee Saltz, the seam pass to Willie Marshall. And Marshall with the good hands holds on knowing he's getting a hit from behind.
First down and 10 to go Temple at the Rutgers 12-yard line. This Scarlet Knight defensive unit, a very game group of young men. Here's Palmer, he's free, and he crawls to the 1.
Well, that time he looked like a coal miner looking through a tunnel trying to find an open hole, and he is at his best as he goes searching for real estate. We look at it from behind the Rutgers defense. Palmer just coming up to the line. Now he cuts it back against the grain, tries to get away from his own blockers as well as some of the Rutgers defenders, and reaching for that goal line. Not quite enough.
They spot the ball outside the 2-yard line, saying that's where his knee touched. It's 2nd and less than 1. Palmer falls forward. He may have the first down. He does not have the touchdown.
Boy, Lou Morrow made a great play to save it that time, coming up from safety. Nobody was out there on that left side of the Temple defense, right side of the Rutgers defense, to make the play on Morrow. He made a great stop against Paul Palmer.
And Temple will not get on the scoreboard here in the first quarter because time has expired. But when we resume action, it'll be 3rd down and apparently less than a yard play in the second quarter. It is 3rd down and less than a yard. It is 3rd down and 2 for a touchdown for Temple. They trail Rutgers 3-0. The pitch is to Palmer. He gets a block from Poole, goes outside and untouched into the end zone. Touchdown Temple.
Well, it was Shelley Poole, 44, the fullback, that led the blocking on that sweep to the open side of the field, the wide side, and Paul Palmer just coasting his way in for his 7th touchdown of the season.
Lou Morrow, Rutgers' strong safety, made an intelligent play. He came in, he tried to make the stop, but Palmer, with his great speed, was able to beat him to the outside. Look for number 14 of Rutgers. Morrow, there was his opportunity. And finally, Palmer just picks and chooses, and he goes in for 6.
Garzinski will hold. White will attempt the extra point, the placement, and the kick by Bill is up, and it is good. And so on the first play of the second quarter, Temple has taken the lead. There's a timeout on the field again. It's now Temple 7 and Rutgers 3. We'll be back right after this.
Make every meal a natural success. Begin with Rocca's gourmet pasta, made with Duran's semolina wheat flour and whole eggs and frozen for freshness. Rocca's tortellini with cheese or meat filling is deliciously different. Homemade pasta's never been so easy. Add the goodness and quality of Odenwald fruits and Noliko vegetables. Odenwald is an orchard of fine fruits, hand-picked and perfectly preserved in their naturally light juices. Noliko vegetables are harvested at the peak of flavor and quick-packed to capture that farm freshness.
Choose from the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
Let's take a look at it, gentlemen, one more time. Harry?
Well, we said that Temple was a left-handed team, and they've got Big John Reenstra, 70, and Eric Koss, and with the help of the fullback, Shelley Poole kicking out on that Morrow block. There's Paul Palmer. Nobody touches him. There's Reenstra doing a hurdle over one of the Rutgers defenders.
We're back live, and this kick will go out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Albert Smith, number 33, and Eric Young are in the deep receiving spots, awaiting the kick from Bill Wright. Jim Cooper was the hero of this ball club last year. His field goal beat West Virginia. His field goal beat Pitt. He is 3 for 7 this year, although Wright has been no bargain. He's 0 for 3 in field goals, Harry.
Scoring drive with Palmer's touchdown completing it. You know, the thing about the place kickers this year, Arians is doing to the place kickers this year what he did to the quarterbacks last year. He's splitting it up. He's using Bill Wright, who never played high school football at Cardinal Doherty here in Philadelphia. He was a soccer player. He comes in last year as a freshman walk-on, and now this year is sharing responsibilities with Cooper, who's only a junior, by the way.
Here he tries it again, and this one is a squib kick coming down to the 20-yard line and out of bounds. And so Wright disgustedly puts his hands on his hips as if to say, I can't believe I can't get the ball on the field to play.
Bruce Arians said yesterday, I asked him, who's going to kick tomorrow? He said, when I get to the field in the morning, I'll look at the two, I'll throw a coin up in the air, and I'll pick one of them. And apparently things still aren't working smoothly.
He may throw another coin up there because they figured they get one inbounds.
Yeah, with his luck, the coin will stick.
Getting back to that scoring drive for a minute, in that last drive, Palmer carried the ball 9 times for 36 yards and the touchdown. So he really asserted himself. And don't forget that big 53-yard punt by Kip Schenenfeld gave Temple the field position they needed after Rutgers couldn't move the football, and that was important.
And also, we're talking about, don't forget that the touchdown by Temple came after excellent field position when they pinned Rutgers up at their 10-yard line. This is not going to be the case, presumably, this time. Rutgers is going to come out of these 2 penalties in excellent field position. Their deep men are at the 15-yard line. Now Wright's got no choice but to hit it straight, and he really did. He sends Smith back to the 9-yard line. 25 to the 30, and Rutgers will begin outside their own 30-yard line. 21 yards on the return by Albert Smith, and he was tackled there by Joe Pacenti. And so Temple now will try to hem him in. Rutgers, trailing in the game 7-3, come out of it with Gagliardi again at quarterback. And they have been successful in moving the football. They just have not been able to punch it into the end zone.
That has been a thorn in Rutgers' side all year long. As you can see, they haven't moved the football well on the ground, and Albert Smith in particular has yet to really get it going.
They'll spot the ball at the 31-yard line, and they shift now back into the deep I. Campbell comes strong side to the right. Gagliardi gives it to Prescott, and he is held on at the 30-yard line and dropped at the 32-yard line. And holding on for dear life was Todd Bowles, the senior out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. And if Prescott had been able to shake loose, he would have had a decent game.
You know, I think also give credit there to Chris D'Amico, the linebacker, 61. He was the one that really held on to Prescott first and allowed Bowles to come up and finish the play.
Give him a gain of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8 now for Rutgers, and Young goes wide to the right, or to the left, rather. Aaron Gibson to the right and Gagliardi on a quick count. A flare out of the backfield to the 30-yard line, and that is it. Not much on that one. Catching the football was Vernon Williams, the fullback, number 38. Or he's wearing 39.
John Smith made the defensive play, Sam, and that's a tough tackle to make in the open field. If he got by John Smith, he's got 10 more yards before anybody's there.
Let us pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the TCS Sports Television Network.
This is WTAF TV 29 in Philadelphia.
Back at the vet in Philadelphia, 3rd down and 9 now for Gagliardi. And he delivers a pass. It is off the fingertips to the intended receiver up around the 42-yard line. It was catchable by Eric Young, but the freshman could not corral it. Purvis Herder had the coverage, and so Rutgers will have to give it up.
Once again, Temple came with a blitz. 2 players blitzing on the play, including Pilkauskas. And Gagliardi, you're right, had the time. The ball was thrown well. It was catchable, but it just couldn't be pulled in by Young.
So Matt O'Connell again asked to kick Rutgers out of trouble here. Purvis Herder is the deep man at the 30-yard line. We're just underway, 13:26 to go, 2nd quarter. Temple 7 and Rutgers 3. Rutgers dominated the first quarter but came out of it trailing 7-3. Herder will have a chance to run it back. 35-40. Skips to the 45 and to the 47-yard line before he is knocked down. Making the tackle there is Gene Austin. 35-yard punt is all that time from Matt O'Connell. And again, there's a timeout on the field. And when we come back, Temple will have excellent field position. They already lead this game 7-3.
This is New Brawny paper towel. It's bigger than ordinary paper towel. In fact, New Brawny is the biggest paper towel you can buy. And tough. Tough enough for giant messes. Giant messes. Get it, Brawny? Giant messes. No,
Next.
This is New Brawny paper towel. It's bigger than ordinary paper towel.
Next. New Brawny, the big tough towel.
That's the way you want it. Get away from my boy.
Next, on Return to Eden.
Because I have a tendency to shoot the men who double-cross.
I've always lived dangerously. I don't intend to die that way.
What are you doing here, Taylor?
Drop by for a chat.
And it's only a matter of time before that chair is my chair. And this desk is my desk.
Return to Eden, Sunday at 9 on TV 29.
A reminder that the broadcast rights to this game are granted by Temple University to TCS. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without written consent is prohibited. The announcers on the telecast have been hired and paid for by TCS in consultation with Temple University. 13-14 to go first half. Lee Saltz brings them out here. Harry?
I have a feeling that Saltz may go for the big play here to one of his wide receivers, maybe 84, Willie Marshall. They have a tendency, after getting momentum, to go for the big strike.
Well, the give is to Shelley Poole, maybe on 2nd down. Gain of 5 as he gives it to the up-back Poole for about 5 yards to the Rutgers 47-yard line.
It's not bad when you have a fullback who gets 5.2 yards per pop. He doesn't carry the ball nearly as much as Palmer because he's primarily a blocking back. But when he does get the ball, he makes something happen, and that adds a dimension to the team.
Ellis Primus is wide to the right and Garzinski to the left. It is 2nd down and 5, Temple from the I formation. Here's the pitch to Palmer. Got away from one tackler into the 45 and was snowed under there. He really got hit hard, but he avoided the original pursuit. Matt Backman is the man who made the stop, but George Bankos had his hands on it.
Well, once again, the guy that made it happen is the pulling guard out of the left side, number 70, John Rienstra. Let's see Big John, the left guard, come pulling across the screen. The toss is to Palmer. There goes Rienstra out there, and Baroum lowers the block there. And in 69 here, Hoke has a shot, and Palmer just flips right through him.
Third down and 2 Temple. Rutgers has not made it easy for the Owls. They are a scrappy band of defensive players on the Scarlet Knights. Delay of game perhaps. Palmer might have had the first down. The flag goes down. And I believe, gentlemen, our first penalty of the game, isn't it?
It is. It is. That time in motion, they sent Mike Pallas, number 4. Pallas is a red-shirted freshman. He's from up around Nittany Lion country as we look at the
procedure
call.
and not delay. You were exactly right.
Pallas's father, I don't know if you remember him, Stan Pallas. He was an outfielder with the Cincinnati Reds and also played with the Philadelphia Phillies. That's back in the 50s.
I do indeed. And having incriminated and dated myself, I'm now embarrassed by the whole
Dead ball, illegal procedure on the offense. Third down.
Well, he used to go and get his autograph, right?
That's right.
Sam.
That's right. I was just a child, Harry.
There you go.
You used to take me to the games, I think, didn't you? The adult supervision. It is third down and 9. It is second down and 9. Enough of the nonsense. Temple trying to move the football here, and Saltz will throw it. He has good protection, delivers the ball. It is short. His receiver slipped and fell down. He was intending to pass for Keith Gloucester, number 2, and the closest man to it actually was Gene Austin.
You can talk all you want about that last play, but the reason that Temple had to go to the air and not keep the ball on the ground and pick up a potential first down is the mistake. And coaches will tell you there's times to make mistakes and there's times not to, and certainly that was a time not to.
So on fourth down, Kip Schenefeld is back to kick it, and Will Dunster in single safety. Schenefeld skies one. And it hits and bounces into the end zone. So Kip got all of that one. A putt of 49 yards and nothing on the return, obviously. It's a touchback and will come out to the 20-yard line. So Rutgers still trails Temple by 4, but they have the football.
I know. How does some seafood sound?
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Long John Silver's got battered fried shrimp, breaded shrimp, scallops, clams, even oysters.
Sounds like a taste in a place I want to be. Sounds good. Sounds great. Come on, grab me a plate. Long John Silver. Sounds good to me.
From the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
Interesting to note as you look at the score here that neither team has had any success in the second quarter this year, having been outscored in the second quarter by 32-14. Temple obviously has one touchdown in this game, but Rutgers has been outscored in second quarters by a count of 38-9. So we've got two teams who have not played very well in the second quarter. The handoff straight ahead to the fullback for about 3 or 4 yards. Albert Smith, the ball carrier. It'll be second down at 7.
Chuck Cumro, newcomer on that front 4 for the Owls, number 50, made the play. Arians is going to put a lot of people into the football game, Sam. He's not going to go with any one set unit. He's going to substitute freely. That time one of the substitutions was there to make the play.
Harry, his history has been, and particularly last year, was to substitute in the second quarter all the starters.
You know where he got that? No. Bear Bryant at Alabama. But Bear Bryant had 100 football players who could play anywhere.
That's exactly right. Here's Prescott. Big gainer up to the 30-yard line. Very close to a Rutgers first down. And Bruce did admit to me that he's doing it much less this year than he did last year. But if you understand the schedule he had to start the year with Penn State and BYU, Boston College, and all of that, it is understandable.
All right, let's watch Matt Prescott on this play. Makes a little bit of a fake to the right, cuts to the left. He has good quickness. Albert Smith, by the way, threw a crushing block on the left side and made that hole open.
It'll be third down and inches now for Rutgers to keep the ball. A 7-3 football game on a turning clock with 10.5 minutes to play. Second quarter. And keep in mind, as I indicated to you, neither of these teams play well in the second quarter. Temple has scored already, but don't forget that was a carryover on the first play of the second quarter, so they really can't consider that second quarter action. Rutgers gets the first down with plenty to spare at the 32-yard line.
Rutgers needed a yard, so they brought the fullback Smith back into a tailback position and let him do it all on his own.
You talk about tempo in the second quarter and Rutgers in the second quarter. The Owls like to think they own the fourth quarter. They've scored 58 points in the fourth quarter of football games this year. That was a big factor last week. They wore down Cincinnati.
Hoover is in a slot to the right in a passing formation. Here comes Gagliardi, delivers the ball, and it's caught at the 40, the 45, and Hoover is the man. So Temple having a great deal of difficulty with the slot man. Hoover has made 3 catches, this one for 11 yards and another first down for Rutgers.
Greg Raffelli, number 85, vacated the area, and Roy Hoover filled it. Gagliardi put it right on the numbers, and a pretty execution play. There's the throw, and there is Mr. Hoover wide open.
I don't know if they've made an adjustment offensively. Gagliardi that time on the rollout. In the first quarter, we saw him try to stay in the pocket, and he was sacked 3 times. So maybe they're trying to get away from the Temple rush.
They've got Prescott on a wing to the right. Hoover at the top, and they give it to Smith, and he runs right into Pilkowskis. And he broke that tackle and almost reached the 44-yard line. A very fine effort by Albert Smith, the senior out of Union, New Jersey. At 6 feet, 210 pounds, he broke Pilkowskis 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
I don't know about you, but Pilkowskis keeps hitting like that. We'll go wind up with a knee ring. Boy, that really popped up there, didn't it?
That's the kind of sound coaches like to hear.
Great for effects.
They pipe that into the stadium during practice sometimes if they're not getting enough of it on the field. It is a gain of 2, second down and 8. Young goes wide to the left. And there is a slot to the left as well. Gibson, number 3. I formation. This is a passing down for Gagliardi. And he sprints to the left. And you are right, Harry. He is sprinting left and right and delivering the ball very well. That one was dropped. It may have been a bit low. It was seemingly catchable by Eric Young, number 22. It'll be third down, but Gagliardi now with a moving pocket left and right.
That's the second time that Young has had a ball that he probably should have held on to. And number 9, Gagliardi, of course, you can't fault him. The ball was very catchable. Young that time had to go down for it, but he should have held on.
Young has great potential. He has great speed, but he's got to learn to catch the football. That'll take a while for the freshman.
Gagliardi's a 59% passer. You can't ask for a great deal more. He's not asked to throw the ball deep very often like Hochberg was, however, or like Lee Saltz is asked to do on occasion. Big play now for Rutgers to keep the ball at their own 44, third and 9. Open man. Fumbles the ball. Albert Smith in the pileup. And Temple says they have it, but we will wait the officials' call. They say Temple too. Now, what a bad break for Rutgers, because Smith might have had the first down.
Well, that time they showed a split back set, and he stayed in the pocket, got some pressure because one of the backs who was with them, the block, Smith, came out of the backfield. And unfortunately, he's unable to hold on. Even if he did hold on, I don't think it was enough for the first down. But what it does is it gives Temple better field position than if Rutgers had had the punt. Looks like they picked up where they left off with turnovers last week. Rutgers.
First down at 10. Palmer, the deep back in the eye, to the 47-yard line of Rutgers. Picking up about 4 yards on the carry. Chuck Cumro was the man who forced that fumble as he put his helmet right into the football.
Last week, Rutgers turned it over 7 times, and as you see, they're really having problems holding the football this year. And you can't win football games when you commit turnovers. You just can't, especially 7.
Second down and 6 now for the Owls, leading 7-3 and looking for more. Garzinski in motion, passing in front of your screen. Palmer found a little daylight. Inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. That'll be a first down for Temple. He was stopped there by number 50, George Pical of the Pical family. You know, 2 of them on this team. One plays for the LA Raiders, and they say the best one is still in high school.
You can talk all you want about the blocking of the offensive line, but a lot of this stuff is intuitive, instinctive movement, and Palmer does it as well as anybody in the country. He picks his hole, and he gets the yard.
Big Pete Johnson now, the tight end, goes strong side to the right. Salt, play action pass. He wants it all. He fires it in the end zone, and it is incomplete. Intended down there for a diving Keith Gloucester at the back of the end zone. And as I said earlier, Lee Saltz will go for the home run ball on occasion.
Let me tell you, number 2, Keith Gloucester, has the kind of speed that very few cornerbacks in the country can keep up with. Made his debut last year as a freshman and dropped 3 touchdown passes. This time, Saltz just leads him a little too much, but once again, he has 3 steps on the defender.
He's got an arm, doesn't he, Sam?
He does indeed. Bayless is to the left. And the give is to Palmer looking for daylight. There wasn't much there. You said Gloucester dropped 3 last year. He also caught one against Toledo in Atlantic City in the game that we did indoors, and just ran away from everybody. He can accelerate while the ball's in the air and put 5 yards, Harry, between he and the receiver.
Well, I was going to say, I remember that game last year, and he left somebody on the boardwalk with sparks.
Yes, he did indeed. Here's Temple now with another key third down situation. 3rd down and 9. Receivers are split left and right. Marshall is out of your picture at the bottom of the screen, and now they put Paul Palmer in the slot to the left. Saltz looking around, delivers the ball over the middle. It's tipped and almost caught by a second man down near the goal line. Marshall tipped the ball. Pete Johnson was the tight end down at the goal line.
You know, last week they got a 96-yard touchdown pass when Marshall tipped the ball, and right behind him was Keith Gloucester. He went 96 for a school record, as Lee Saltz last week had his best game, 307 yards.
I gave Arians the nickname Riverboat Gambler from having done the Temple West Virginia game last year when it seemed like he gambled. I thought maybe he might consider it here, but he appears to have gone a bit conservative on me now. On 4th down, he is content to punt the ball, and he's got Schenefeld back at his 47, at Rutgers 47. He tries to pooch punt the ball, but it'll go into the end zone. They tried to get somebody down to catch the ball near the goal line, but it didn't work. And so it'll come out to the 20 where Rutgers will have it again.
Coaches don't like you to get a read on them. Remember that.
Well, he was not true to form there. So there's a timeout on the field. We have 7:01 to go, second quarter. Temple leads Rutgers 7-3. We'll be back after this.
All too often, man has made claims that haven't stood the test of time. Like this. And this. And this claim from Diet Coke. Because the truth is now there's one Diet Cola that Diet Coke can't beat. It's Diet Pepsi. You see, Diet Pepsi has more real cola taste than Diet Coke. So try it and taste the truth.
The delicious dishes you're seeing were prepared with a very special brand of pasta. Pasta made from the finest durum wheat money can buy, because it makes an important difference in taste. Pasta made with such care, you get perfect results every time you cook it. Is this pasta so special you need a special occasion to serve it? This is Ronzoni. Serve it as often as you like, because although Ronzoni is a premium pasta, it's still a very economical meal. Ronzoni Premium Pasta. Taste the difference.
Sam Nofer with Harry Donahue and Bruce Beck. We're at the Vet in Philly on a lovely afternoon for college football. Our temperature, as we indicated at the beginning of the program, about in the mid-50s, and it's kind of light top coat weather. Rutgers comes out of it at their own 20-yard line. Joe Gagliardi at quarterback. He's 8 out of 14 for 71 yards in the passing department thus far. Prescott in the backfield along with Dan Lipset. And Prescott gets a call to the 25-yard line. We inadvertently called Lipset Vernon Williams, having mistaken his number the last time Rutgers had the ball, and our apologies to Danny Lipset. He is number 39 and not number 38, who was Vernon Williams, but the ball carrier that time was Prescott.
Rutgers is mixing things up on the ground and in the air, and earlier in the week, Dick Anderson told me that it's tough to do either one exclusively. As far as a steady diet is concerned, you've got to run the football, you've got to pass the ball, but look for us to throw it just a little bit more today.
And Rutgers is doing something this week they did not do last week against BC, and that is winning first down by gaining 4 or 5 yards or more. Here's Lipset crawling to the 29-yard line. He will be shy of the first down. He fumbled the ball. No, I guess he didn't. I thought there was a scramble for the ball, but bodies dropped all over the place. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Drukenbrud is the man who made the stop, the sophomore out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, number 94, along with Purvis Herter. So here comes Rutgers now with 3rd and short. They've been in that a lot today.
Well, the last time they just went right over the top. They gave it to Smith out of the fullback spot, and he went over the top for the first down. The way the Temple defense is set up, we talked about Pilkowskis, and now D'Amico's in there, 61 in the middle. They're going to get into a lot of action right in the middle of that defense.
Big Lipset is the fullback now, and Smith is on the bench. Gagliardi gives it to Prescott. He does not get the first down. He goes up on the pile, but he is ripped down by the defense of the Temple Owls, and they prevented him from reaching the 30-yard line.
If you had a friend on that front 4 or 5, Sam, I think he was in on that tackle. But that was gang tackling, wasn't it, huh?
It was. They were all there.
What was the old song, Spinning Wheel? What goes up must come down? Well, he did finally come down on this one.
And they gave him the first down. My, oh, my. I did not think that his forward penetration was a 30-yard line, but I'm not an official and I'm not on the field, and they've given him the first down, so Rutgers keeps the football, and what a break now for the Scarlet Knights.
Neither did Bruce Arians. He was hot on the sidelines about that placement.
Here's Gagliardi rolling to the right. He's got room to run it if he wants. 35, and he goes down at the 37-yard line with a hook slide in front of Parker. Todd Bowles was there, number 15 as well.
Once again, we're seeing Gagliardi on the rollout. I think so far Rutgers realizes that he's more effective rolling out. I don't know if this was designed as an option or not, but when he looked up, there was nobody open. And I think here, actually, that fake cost him a couple of yards. He probably wanted to get closer to the 40-yard line.
Good block by Matt Prescott coming out of the backfield and opening the hole for Gagliardi.
Raffelli wide to the left, and Hoover to the right. Hoover has been a key target for Gagliardi in the game, and Roy now goes in motion. Rutgers shown a lot of motion. Prescott, big hole, 45-50, and he's gone. There's nobody there. What a magnificent run. 63 yards to the end zone by Matt Prescott. There are no flags down, and he shot through a hole like he came out of a cannon. And it's a touchdown for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
And there's that added dimension that Rutgers talked about. Matt Prescott in the football game. This is a little bit of misdirection. They trap on the outside. Look at the big block by Lipset. And there's the wide open hole. And Lipset just made that hole nice and easy for Prescott to bust through and run to pay dirt. No doubt about that one.
That's the old trap play, and the whole Temple defense got trapped that time. They started it with motion to the far side of the field. That threw one of the defensive backs out of there, and then with the trap blocking up front, it was wide open for Prescott, 63 yards.
Here's Angstedt now to tack on the 10th point, the placement, and the kick by Tom is up, and it's perfect. And with 4:18 to play here in the second quarter, Rutgers has gone back on top again. It's been a seesaw series. As I indicated earlier, the last 3 games have been decided by a total of 5 points. And the fact of the matter is that Rutgers has not lost at Temple since 1977 when they were beaten 24-14. And the Scarlet Knights try to keep it going again today.
The key to a good trap play is execution. Watch 64, Clem Udovich, who's coming at you from the left guard position. He makes the key block. Lipset helps. The hole is sealed, and this man is gone.
You talk about Clem Udovich. You know, he's playing in his hometown here, basically. He's from Brookhaven, Pennsylvania, went to Archmere Academy right outside of Philadelphia, south of Philadelphia in Delaware. And he, along with the Keating brothers. Keating brothers played here in 1980. Their team won the Catholic League Championship, Cardinal O'Hara High School. So a little bit of a homecoming for them. And this is supposed to be Temple's homecoming, right?
Yeah, it is indeed. Looks like Prescott was saying a prayer against the wall.
Rutgers was unable this year to break the big play, Sam, and Dick Anderson told us that last week. It finally happened today. It took 5 football games, but they get the big play that they needed.
So Temple now will have to ask itself to do something in responding to that touchdown run. Mike Copeland, number 15, will do the kicking off, not Angstedt. At the 40-yard line, this is a high, short kick. And it'll be fielded at the 5-yard line. Paul Palmer, and he crosses the 20 and is tackled at about the 21-yard line. Good coverage by Rutgers special teams. Palmer has returned. This is his 4th return of a kick this year.
You know, a lot of people will say, how come he has a guy like Paul Palmer, so valuable as a running back, back there taking licks on special teams? And the only answer Bruce can give is he's one of his better athletes. And he's going to carry the ball 30 times anyhow, so if he's going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt. There's the scoring drive, and Prescott ate up 63 of the yards on the touchdown run.
Doesn't take long when you find a hole like that, does it? Gloucester in motion. It's a 10-7 football game, and here's Palmer. Trying to get a block, cuts it back at the 30, to the 35, and he was 1 block away from breaking that one. 78 yards. He gets the first down to the 37-yard line. And Gene Austin came up to knock him down, but not before he got the first down.
Look how quick Ringstra is to get out 70, and then Palmer, realizing and everybody's going against the grain, just cuts it back right here and leaves about 4 Rutgers players behind, and Austin makes really a touchdown-saving tackle, or else, as you said, Sam, he's off to the races.
Garzinski is out wide to the right, and Primus is to the left. You can see Garzinski at the top of your screen, and big tight end Hinnon in motion. He's an outstanding blocker, and there is a big, big hit on the ball carrier right at the line of scrimmage. George Pacal, number 50, met the ball carrier head on. I didn't see, was that Palmer? I didn't see Paul got the handoff, or was that the up back?
No, Shelley Poole.
Yeah, Palmer was taken out. They're going to give him a breather. He's coming, well, he's not going to return on this play either. He's already had something like 15 carries with still 3.5 minutes left to go. He's right on target, though, for the 30 carries that he's averaging per game.
Good solid hit by George Piquel on that last play, excuse me.
Sheldon Morris is now the tailback replacing Palmer. Shelley Poole is still the up back. Here's a 2nd down and 8 now for the Owls in the pitch. Getting outside. Good run by Morris as he gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line and maybe a couple of yards shy of a Temple first down. But the clock continues to run. We're under 3 minutes to go, and Rutgers has almost forced Temple to play the kind of game they want him to.
Harry Morris is in there because Todd McNair is injured. McNair usually the second-string tailback there.
Right, and Todd McNair was injured 2 games ago. McNair was the best scholastic running back 2 years ago. He's out of Pennsauken High School, another New Jersey kid on this Temple roster.
Palmer is back in the lineup now on 3rd down and 2, a money down for Temple to keep the drive alive. 3rd down and 2 at the 46. Saltz runs the option and gives it to Palmer. Paul has no place to go, cuts it up at the 47. He will not get the first down. They shut that play down right from its inception. Alec Hoke is the man who made the stop, but turning him inside was Herndon Sims from his defensive backfield position.
Yeah, Herndon Sims does make the play. He's out here on the right side. Palmer with the option toss from Lee Saltz. Here he's going to cut it back again, and Sims, anticipating that a little bit, was able to force Palmer maybe to go inside before he wanted to.
Temple has called a timeout here. Bruce Arians wants to discuss the possibility of perhaps going for it on 4th down and less than a yard. I love this riverboat gambler. This young Bruce Arians who just captivated the city of Philadelphia when he came in here a couple of years ago. When he was hired, in fact, in 1983, he was the youngest head coach in Division 1A at 31 years old. He's a native of the area, well, generally York, Pennsylvania. Went to William Penn High School, was an offensive coordinator of Mississippi State, of course, as you indicated, Harry. He didn't suffer anything. He learned his football under Bear Bryant at Alabama as an assistant coach there, and just has been, he's a magnanimous kind of personality.
Well, you know, you said he's from York, Pennsylvania. He went down south to school at Virginia Tech, where he was a quarterback, coached in the South, and came back north with a nice little Southern accent, didn't he?
Yeah, he does.
He hasn't been able to shake it yet.
He does. He's a very engaging young man, and he'll do anything he has to do to win a football game, and he's in a dogfight right now, trailing Rutgers 10-7.
And he talks about his football program right now and says we can play with anybody. I think we've proven that, and now we can beat anybody, and that's the big difference.
And he's not afraid to gamble either. Looks like he's going to go for it right here, Sam.
He's made the decision.
I know Sam likes this.
Minute 59 to go. I love him.
What do you think? A little play action, maybe.
3 tight ends. It's a possibility. 3 tight ends with a minute 59 to go. If they don't get it here, they'll give Rutgers a great scoring opportunity. 4th and less than a yard. They're not going to go.
Yep, he's going to
pull Rutgers offside.
How do you like that?
How's that for a disciplined defense?
Well, that's a riverboat gambler trying to maybe get the people confused that he is gambling. They waited and waited and tried to get Rutgers to jump offside, and you started to get the feel that no one was going to jump. They'll take the 5-yard penalty. It doesn't really matter if you have to punt the ball away with a minute 59 to go. Interesting try.
Delay of game, offense, 4th down, 4th and 6.
I would have liked to see them go for it, personally.
Of course, that's the kind of football we all enjoy, but I think he's smart enough to know that he can get blown out of this game before the half if he gives it up in plus field position for Rutgers. Kip Schenefeld, who was not punted well today at all. He got this one, all of it. Driving Dunster back to the 10-yard line. And the coverage is outstanding, but Dunster gets away from the first wave and brings it back to the 20-yard line. 48 yards on the punt by Schenefeld and 10 on the return by Dunster. And to Will's credit, he almost broke that. They had 7 guys encircling him as he caught the football.
Well, he may have outkicked the coverage just a little bit. That does happen occasionally. And he got by that first guy, Armstrong, 41, who was down there. And you talk to anybody that's returned punts, Sam, on any level. You get by that first man down, and bingo, it opens up.
So let's see now what Dick Anderson is going to do. He's got the ball at his own 20, protecting the 3-point lead. His history has been to be a bit more conservative than Arians, but who's to know? Hoover is wide to the left, and the slot to the right, and they stay on the ground for a couple of yards to about the 22-yard line. Danny Lipset, the big fullback, the sophomore out of Minersville, Pennsylvania, for a couple of yards, and I think the clock is stopped here by Temple with 1:37 to go. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
That's right. If Rutgers gets conservative here, Arian certainly wants to take advantage of the fact that Rutgers is starting deep in their own territory. Maybe they'll get another shot before halftime, and I think that's something Rutgers has to think about in trying to devise plays here. I don't think you can get too conservative. What do you think, Harry?
I don't think so either, and I think it's a mistake for Rutgers just to try to play on the ground and run down as much clock as they can. Timeout situation, I think the Owls have one left. So with 1:37 to go, maybe it's in Rutgers' favor. They're going to have to, though, I think, at least try to get the first down.
By the way, number 2 of Rutgers, Darrell Brittingham, starting free safety, is leaving the field early with some type of injury, so we'll try to keep our eye on that.
There's Bruce Arians, as we mentioned, a former quarterback himself. Paul Davis is the fellow in the white sweater moving right in front of. Does he look like Bear Bryant or what? There goes Brittingham limping off toward the Rutgers dressing room. We talked about Paul Davis, who came along with Bruce Arians from Alabama. Paul himself was a former head coach at Mississippi State. And he says that this may be his final season. He is the Owls defensive coordinator. He looks like Bear Bryant, and he sounds like Bear Bryant. It's unbelievable.
It is 2nd down and 8 now for the Scarlet Knights at their own 22-yard line. They got Lipset and Walbrook as the backfield. Gagliardi rolling and delivers the ball. It's out of bounds. Now, that's not a good play. He gained some yards, but he stopped the clock for Temple. A good 6 yards shy of the first down. Ravelli made the catch.
Yeah, I was surprised that he stepped out of bounds if he stays in the clock rolls. Once again, we're seeing Gagliardi now reverting to the rollout pass. And there is maybe momentum had a lot to do with Raffaelli's decision. Maybe he tried to stay in, Sam, but balance just took him the wrong way.
My fault. It was Hoover and not Raffaelli, Mary. I'm sorry. It's number 36.
You know, you talked about Coach Davis. I was talking to him yesterday. You know, he coached William Andrews, Joe Cribbs, and James Brooks at Auburn also. He's had some talent.
3rd down and 5, and Gagliardi almost has to throw the ball now. Rolling hard to his right. They've got him. He throws the ball. It's complete at the 30-yard line, and a first down for Rutgers. What a great play by Gagliardi. He threw it to Reynold Walbrook, his running back, as he was being smacked to the ground.
Does a quarterback have guts? You got to ask yourself that question. On this play, I think it's clearly answered. Watch Gagliardi hang in there, take this tough hit by Tokauskis, still get off the pass and convert a first down.
Bill Koskis looks like he was saying, "Shall we dance?" He was taking the late Yul Brynner line.
He made a great effort to get to the quarterback, but obviously he didn't tackle the football arm. He got the wrong arm, and Gagliardi kept him at bay and delivered the football to Walbrook. Rutgers now just content to run the clock out. We're under a minute to play, and Temple can stop it but one more time.
That one first down gives you the option now of being conservative and not worrying about field position for Temple.
33-yard line is the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for Rutgers, and Temple is letting the clock run. I think Rutgers will probably have to run only one more play here, perhaps 2, to get to halftime with a 10-7 lead. And I have to think, Harry, that Bruce Arians wants to get there in a hurry, too. He's got a lot of things to talk over. They were badly outplayed in the first quarter, and the second quarter had opportunities and cashed only once. Gagliardi is going to try to deliver it. He throws the home run ball downfield, and it is intercepted by Temple at the 20-yard line. Eddie Parker stepped in front of the intended receiver and came away with the football, but Dick Anderson really had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Well, it's just like a punt, really. 15 seconds left to go. Gagliardi putting up the long bomb. Once again, here's the rollout to get away from any Temple pass rush. Gagliardi is running the wrong way to deliver this football, but he does a nice job anyhow. Got everything on it, and Eddie Parker was in a good spot defensively to pick it off.
Tried to get it to Hoover again, who's been his favorite receiver, but Parker with the big interception now for Temple, and they can just run the clock out at the 20-yard line unless Lee Saltz elects to try to counter. Of course, they've got that great speed on the outside with Gloucester and Marshall, and they are a threat with any time whatsoever remaining on the clock. But instead, handed off to Craig Sawyer, the big fullback, and that'll do it.
Well, Bruce here is showing he can be as conservative maybe as anybody. He's not going to fool around deep in his own territory there trying to put it up. They're going to just let the clock run out.
Gentlemen, we have a football game here. Temple ended 7 here at halftime. Hello again, everyone. Sam Nover with Harry Donahue and Bruce Beck. And let's look at the highlights of that first half. There weren't many of them. Rutgers certainly having more to cheer about than does Temple. Tom Angstadt's 43-yard field goal put him on top 3-0. And they dominated the first quarter, and that was the only thing they came away with, a 3-0 lead. and it was wiped out when Paul Palmer dashed in from 2 yards out as he circled his own left side and went into the end zone for a 7-3 lead. We'll look at that play again, but you see that Paul's got the speed to get outside as well as run inside.
And he's got a lot of help, too. Look at the pulling of John Ringsper here, 70 to get one block there. That pretty much put that Rutgers guy on his knees, and that opened it up for Paul Palmer to get in.
Here's the most electrifying play of the entire first half. It didn't take Matt Prescott long to get into the secondary. He got a trap block early. His fullback also gave him a neat block on Pilkauskas, and gone he was, 63 yards to the Temple end zone, and a 10-7 Rutgers lead at the half. The odd thing here is that 77 yards is all that Rutgers averages in an entire football game on the ground. They got 63 in one big chunk.
Well, this is the longest run from scrimmage for a Rutgers running back since 1980 when Albert Ray went 72 yards against William and Mary. The trap block you talked about, Clement Udovich, and the outstanding block up front by fullback Dan Lipset were really keys in that touchdown run.
Okay, Harry Donahue, Temple gets the ball to start the second half. What are we going to do here as we look at the stats?
Well, they've already punted the ball 5 times in the first half. The first drive, they had it for only 3 plays. They gained 3 yards. Second time, 9 yards on 3 plays. They're going to have to get something going consistently. The throwing department is virtually nothing. 16 yards, 1 for 5 is Saltz. He's either gone for the big bomb or not at all. And they're going to have to, I think, look a little more for the short stuff, try to balance that with the rushing game of Paul Palmer. He's on target already. Palmer has rushed something like 15, 16 times already, has the bulk of that 78 yards for Temple.
On the other hand, Rutgers, certainly, Bruce, cannot sit back and try to protect a 10-7 lead.
Absolutely not, but those statistics reflect the fact that they are mixing things up. The balance was pretty good, passing and rushing, whereas Temple only got some yardage on the ground. They're going to need to balance things up as you look at Joe Gagliardi getting set for the second half of play.
In the deep receiving spots now for Temple, Mike Palis is back at his goal line. Mike Copeland will kick the ball off, number 15. Palmer and Garzinski are back there now for Temple, as the Owls will get the ball to start the second half and try to make some things happen. Rutgers looking for its first victory of the year. They tied Florida dramatically at Florida to start the season, then lost a 4-pointer to Army, a 7-pointer to Penn State, a 10-pointer to Boston College. It'll be Palis at the 6. He fumbles the ball. Garzinski comes up with it. And Garzinski gets it to the 22-yard line. What a break. The ball bounced right up into the hands of Andy Garzinski, who returned the ball to the 22-yard line.
That was a break. You know, Garzinski, he's used primarily as the holder. He's another walk-on. He's the holder. He's another Cardinal Dougherty player who came to Temple as a wide receiver. Palis there just loses the handle, and Garzinski's the right man at the right place at the right time. And he's able to get a few yards out of it, too.
We're back live, 1st and 10. Hinnant in motion, comes this way and then goes away from the flow. And the give, nope, keeper is Saltz. Good run by Lee Saltz, who ran the option across the 30-yard line, something we did not see in the first half.
Well, that's what they do most of the time, the option with Saltz. And I told you earlier, he's an excellent play-action faker. Here he fakes the 44. Shelley Poole keeps it on the option and got a lot of running room around that right corner.
Alec Koch, number 69, the defensive left end, the junior out of Princeton, is the man who made the stop. But he picked up 9 yards. It is 2nd down and 9 now for Temple at the 31.5-yard line. This is Palmer, 1st down and more across the 35 to the 37. As we indicated at the beginning of our program and our pregame report tonight, that Paul is just a few yards away from a host of records. Career, season single rushing, everything is his for the asking.
And Palmer was asked yesterday, well, what about your moves? He said, when I watch him back on the films, I can't believe some of the things I do. It just kind of happens.
Having a nice day, the junior out of Potomac, Maryland. 1st down Temple, trailing 10-7. Saltz on the keeper again. This time he pitches it to Palmer. 40-45, midfield. And a good shoestring tackle there for Rutgers by number 21, who is Steve Twomley, the cornerback, or else Paul might have been off to the races.
There are 2 types of options that Temple runs. One is called a dive option. That's what this is. The fake to the fullback, Saltz to the outside, looking for Palmer. Palmer filling it nicely and picking up the yardage on his own.
Oh, Harry, what soft hands he has. He picked that ball right off his right shoulder pad.
You know what else he can do? He can throw the football. He's really a triple option threat. Catching, running, and throwing.
Let's call it the 50-yard line. It's just on Rutgers' side of the midfield stripe. Poole in motion as a lead block. Saltz wanted to pass it. Now the option is to give it to Palmer, and he steps out of bounds after a 1-yard gain. They had kind of a triple option there. He could have done a number of things with it. I think his primary option was to throw it, Bruce, but he couldn't find anybody.
This is what Temple calls the lead option, and the reason it's called the lead option is because the fullback, Shelley Poole, is moving on this play as well. Here's the fake, and then the pitch back to Palmer on the outside. What they try to do is get the fullback into the support area and block to the outside.
Palmer is 19 carries for 90 yards. There is little doubt, barring an injury, that he will go over 100 yards for his 9th straight game. Isn't that remarkable? Gloucester in motion on 2nd and 9. Misdirection. Palmer for 5 to the 45-yard line. They'll come up 3rd and 5 again. They were 3rd and 5 all first half.
And in that time, the versatility of the offensive line. Lloyd Yancey, watch 75 coming from the right side to open up the block this time. It wasn't Rienstra across. This time, Yancey from the opposite side opened it up for number 6, Paul Palmer.
Marshall goes wide to the left. And Garzinski at the top of your screen to the right. That wing is the tight end, Mike Kennett. He will rarely be thrown to, but he will need a lot of blocks. The option, the pitch. Oh, what a great defensive play by Lou Morrow. The senior out of Union City, New Jersey, was right there. As Palmer took the pitch, he had no place to go. It's 4th down.
Well, but finally, after about 4 shots at the option, Rutgers able to stop it. They probably told Morrow to stay home and look for it that time, and that's exactly what he did. Here's the pitch, and Palmer has no place to go to get away from number 14, Lou Morrow.
Schenefeld again punting to Will Dunster, who is stationed at the 10-yard line of Rutgers. He will obviously not field anything that goes over his head, and this one is over his head. Oh, he fields it right at the 10. He reached back and grabbed it right there. And a smart move, because that ball could have been killed inside the 5. 37 yards on the punt, nothing on the return. An excellent punt by Schenefeld. So Rutgers begins their first possession of the second half from the 10-yard line. They lead here 10-7 over Temple. We'll be back right after this.
Make every meal a natural success. Begin with Rocca's gourmet pasta made with durum, semolina wheat flour, and whole eggs, then frozen for freshness. Rocca's tortellini cheese or meat filling is deliciously different. Homemade pasta's never been so easy. Then include the tempting taste of Lamogna ricotta cheese. For over 50 years, Lamogna cheese has been bringing out the best in pastas. Made with pure milk and hot packed for freshness, Lamogna ricotta cheese refreshes salads and enhances desserts. It's the ricotta for all reasons.
From the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
Rutgers has been able to do something that Temple has not, and that is throw the ball effectively. Joe Gagliardi is 10 out of 17 for 78 yards, but they have oftentimes been possession reception and kept drives alive. He begins at his own 10-yard line, he being Joe Gagliardi. That's Hoover in motion. Number 1 receiver. And they give it to Prescott through a big hole to the 20-yard line and the first down. Last time Mr. Prescott touched the football, he went 63 yards to the Temple end zone.
74, Jim Keating is really doing a job on Pappalardo, the left defensive end for Temple. He's standing up Pappalardo and allowing, here's Kokoskis, the linebacker for the Owls, trying to read the play, tries to break off one blocker and can, and a nice run by Prescott. But watch if we can, Prescott or Keating, 74 on the offensive line. That's the back of Mitch Gottschalk. He is the strength conditioning coach for Temple. Interesting story. John Rienstra, the powerlifting champion, the NCAA, and that's the guy that has to get the credit for it.
Ooh, and he's a strong man indeed. If I was to have told either of you gentlemen that Prescott would beat Paul Palmer to 100 yards today, you might have laughed before the game.
You're right.
But Prescott's got 97, Palmer's got 93, and Prescott's team's got the football. It is 1st and 10 Rutgers across the 30-yard line. The up back for about 3 yards. Again, Prescott, the ball carrier. No, it wasn't Prescott. We'll check it out. Albert Smith, the ball carrier. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the TCS Sports Television Network.
This is WTAF TV 29 in Philadelphia.
Exactly 11 minutes to play, third quarter. Rutgers with the ball and the lead at 10-7, second down and 6. Hoover in motion coming your way. Prescott, the ball carrier. First down. Crosses the 30 to the 32-yard line. And they are just cutting gaping holes in the defensive front of Temple. That front including Doug Davis, 49, Cumro, number 50, Jeff Ward, number 99.
Rutgers.
Also Andy Papalerdo.
Rutgers is winning the battle of the trenches. They're really blocking well up front. Dick Anderson said during the week that the best defense is a ball control offense, and that's what they're doing right now, keeping Palmer off the field.
From the 32-yard line. Anderson's game plan has gone very well for him. Prescott takes the pitch. And a good tackle right around the ankles by Bilkowskis, number 53. A gain of maybe 2 yards on the play. It'll be second down, 8 Rutgers.
First time we saw it today defensively, D'Amico, the inside linebacker, went up almost as a nose guard that time, so they had 5-man front. And Bilkowskis was able to get outside on Prescott.
And Matthew, as we indicated, the first one to reach 100 yards today. What an afternoon he's had. Of course, 63 came in one big bunch.
That helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Second down and 8. And Temple has had no big plays in this game at all. Gagliardi sprinting to the right, delivers it right on the money to Eric Young. Up around the 47-yard line. Another Rutgers first down. As the freshman caught the ball in front of Eddie Parker, the sophomore safety. And Rutgers is doing just about what they want offensively.
Well, what they're doing again, the rollout. That's what they're relying on for Gagliardi. And there in front of Larry Bruton with the reception is Young to hold on this time.
One of the reasons that Gagliardi earned the starting position was because of his mobility, able to go to the outside and throw.
12 yards on the completed pass. And here they come again on first down. Prescott bounces off the pass. Gets outside at the 50 to 45 and out of bounds with another Rutgers first down. As he bounced, he was stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and he simply bounded outside, took the play outside for 15 yards, and another Scarlet Knight first down.
Todd Bowles, the rover back, we told you, is still trying to recover from that broken wrist. 15 into your screen there. It looks like he may have a shot, but he can't reach out there with that bad left arm, and as a result, the extra yardage for Rutgers.
Here's the blocking in the trenches. They're doing their job, and the outside was open and a little bit of impromptu by Mr. Prescott.
From the 38-yard line, remember, this drive began at Rutgers' 10-yard line. They are at the Temple 38. Albert Smith diving for 2. It'll be second down and 8. Anderson has devised, Bruce, some masterful game plan. As we commented early on, you could see the assortment of offensive variations. He threw and he ran early, and he ran inside and he ran outside.
And offensive coordinator Dick Curl said during the week, hey, we're going to get a little bit bold. We're going to try some new things. I think you have to when you're 0-3-1 coming in. And Coach Dick Anderson has to be pleased at this point of the football game, especially with the running attack.
Second down, 8. Gibson in motion. Prescott tries to take it outside, but he is dragged down from behind after picking up 3 yards. Chris Eddy, I believe it was, or was it Papalerdo? 80 or 90 dragged him down after he picked up about 2, let's call it. It'll be third down. Papalerdo pulled him down.
Harry, let's get back to Rutgers' record for a moment. Bruce Arians seemed concerned that Rutgers was 0-3-1 coming in. He remembers when his club was 0-3 and how they were coming out of the gates to win the next game.
And so misleading, too. Everybody said Temple was maybe the best 0-3 team in the country. Well, maybe Rutgers is the best 0-3-1 team in the country.
Third and 6. Gagliardi with time in heavy traffic, and the ball is incomplete. It was intended for Aaron Gibson, the senior out of Trenton, New Jersey, and he collided with Todd Bowles and an assortment of others back there, and they shook the ball loose.
May have gotten lucky that time trying to force this one a little bit, something that Rutgers hasn't done. Good zone coverage around the receiver. There's 2 outs, and nearly Eddie Parker came up with the interception number 3. He almost had the football.
Good clean play.
Hangstead will attempt a 51-yard field goal.
50 is his career best.
The hold by Drake at the 41-yard line. There's the placement, the kick, and it'll be way short. And off to the right into the end zone. It'll be a touchback and come out to the 20-yard line. So Temple has held here. I beg your pardon. The ball come back to the original line of scrimmage, and so that's where Temple will put the ball in play. But Rutgers with an excellent drive to start at their own 10-yard line and move it deep into Temple territory. So there's a timeout on the field now. The score remains Rutgers 10 and Temple 7. We'll be right back after this.
It's our biggest one-week-only half-price living room sale at Princess Furniture. All living rooms half price. All models, all styles, none held back. This is it. Don't miss it. Princess Furniture's half-price living room sale. All $1,000 living rooms, just $4.99. $1,500 rooms, just $6.99. And $2,000 living rooms, just $9.99. With immediate delivery this week only at Princess Furniture, Edgewater Park, Andalusia, Germantown, Upper Darby, and West Philadelphia.
Country Fried Chicken is sunrise fresh because it gets to the door fast. Country Fried Chicken is always fresh, tender, juicy, because it gets to the door fast. Country Fried is guaranteed fresh or your money back because it gets to the store so fast. Serve Country Fried. Guaranteed fresh.
To truly appreciate the kind of work the defensive unit of Rutgers has done in this game, Temple averages 406 yards total offense per game, and Rutgers held them to 106 in the first half. At that rate, we're talking about cutting the offensive total in half. Second possession of the second half for the Temple Owls, and Palmer gets the pitch, and he's dropped for a 3-yard loss. Behind the line of scrimmage, making the penetration with number 69, Alec Hope, to drop him back at the 31-yard line.
Well, that's a bread and butter play. That toss of Paul Palmer usually has 3 or 4 people in front of him. Let's see where the breakdown was. There's the pitch. They've got the Cornelius and Shelley Poole, the fullback. But too many people able to break through that front wall of blockers to get to Paul Palmer.
I don't understand these placements. He was tackled back at the 31. They give him the 33-yard line. So actually, it's no loss at all. Second down at 10. This one will be a loss. They can't spot that one at the 33. Way back at the 23-yard line, Lee Saltz is dragged down by Roy Oak, a blitzing linebacker.
I believe that's the first sack of the afternoon for the Rutgers defense. Nice job by Oak to get in there on Saltz.
Oak led the team in tackles last year. He lost his starting position this year to Matt Bachman, but he's showing that he's got the fire coming off the bench. And when you come up like plays like that, well, they can't keep you on that bench too long.
Third down and 20, and Saltz now in just the kind of position he doesn't want to be in. He hasn't thrown the ball a lick today. He was 1 out of 6 in the first half.
They may kick it in.
They're in short punt formation. Saltz is back, and he gets this one away. He's going to need the bounce because it's a short kick, and it does not take a Temple bounce. It is killed at the 44-yard line. It did not take a Temple bounce, so Saltz dropped back into short punt formation on third down and 20 and kicked the ball to the 44-yard line, only 37 yards on the punt.
You know, we talked at halftime about how Temple so far has not been able to come up with the possession type of receiving, and that maybe is the reason why there on third and 20 they went instead to kick it away.
So there's timeout on the field again. The score remains Rutgers 10, Temple 7. We'll be back after this.
Full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
Investing in Atlantic makes a difference. With 80% broker discounts, new tax shelters, and free stock tips. The new Atlantic Advantage card makes a difference. With higher CD rates, lower credit costs, and no fee services. Making money and keeping it makes a difference. Atlantic Financial. We can make a difference. Here's another way. We can make a difference.
Well, Rutgers was supposed to be pretty well beaten up today. Cobb out with a hamstring, Fine with a bruised chest. Drake has been out now for weeks, only holding on placement. if they lead this game 10-7, and they have the ball in excellent field position at their own 44-yard line. It is first down Rutgers, 6 minutes to play third quarter. Prescott. He has running room, but they close him down on the near sideline right in front of the Temple bench and hold him to a 3-yard gain. Kirk Drukenbrud is the man who made the stop, but he had some movement there.
Well, what happened that time was the short side of the field, the sideline, was the 12th man on the field for Temple. It just cut everything down. And there's a look at the disparity in total offensive yardage. 128 for the Owls and 266 for Rutgers. And the bulk of that 128 is in the hands of Paul Palmer. He's got about 75 yards of that.
It is second down and 7. Now Gagliardi fakes the handoff, throws it instead to Prescott at the 45. An excellent play. They play action fake to Prescott that he turns around and hooks up at the 45-yard line, catches the pass, and gets another Rutgers first down. They are moving at will against Temple's defense.
If you want to throw the ball to your backs, you got to get the protection first, and Rutgers is getting the protection. Prescott just slides out of the middle. The ball just gets over the hands of James Moore, and it's a Rutgers first down.
Raffelli is wide to the left, and Hoover is on a wing to the right. Now Roy goes in motion on 1st and 10 at the Temple 43. Prescott leaps a couple of people, fumbles the ball, and Temple recovers. And yes, it's Temple football. And the question is, did Hoover lose that ball going down, or did the ground cause the fumble? It was recovered by Drukenbrud. We'll look at it again.
All right, here's Prescott. Let's watch him closely. Goes right down the middle. Goes up in the air. The question is, did he come down with possession of the ball? Looks like he did, and then the ball popped out.
Todd Bowles, 15, may have got a forearm in there to break that ball loose from Prescott.
Hard to tell from our camera angle, but it is Temple's ball, and turnovers is what killed Rutgers last week. 7 to be exact, and they have still stayed in the game. They turned it over 3 times today, and Salts keeps it to the 39-yard line. On first down, running for about 3 yards. As he ran the option, Roy Oak, the senior out of Piscataway, made the stop. It'll be second down 7 now for Temple. They can find nothing big.
Well, that was sort of like an aborted option. Salts really didn't give much of a chance for that to string out. That's what they like to do on that option toss, faking it to Palmer or holding on to it. That time he just kind of kept the short yardage gain.
Under 4.5 minutes to play third quarter. Temple still finds itself on the short end of a 10-7 score. Palmer dragging a tackler to the 41-yard line. Not much there. There just simply isn't much to be had at all. Number 50, George Pical, dragging, holding on at the bottom, being dragged by Palmer. It'll be third down and 4.
Sam, we saw that total offense graphic a moment ago. The one thing you have to keep in mind when you see that kind of disparity is the fact that Rutgers has turned it over 3 times. Temple has turned it over 0.
They were -4 last week, Rutgers, in the giveaway takeaway department. They're -1 on the year. Now they're -4, of course, if you add the 3 today. Salts throws it over the middle. Nobody there. Oh, and there was a late hit on an intended receiver, but no harm. The ball was badly overthrown. It was uncatchable by Salts, and I just simply don't know what the problem is other than excellent defense.
Well, what happened, I think they got some help here. There were 2 offensive receivers as Stowe is trying to read what's going on. Hinnant, the tight end, gets tangled up with Poole, and I think Poole was the intended receiver, and Stowe really levels it.
He got away with
That's
one.
the hit I was talking about.
Yeah, he got away with it.
Hinnant wasn't supposed to be there, and he paid the price.
Schenefeld again punting to Dunster. Good high spiral. Will calls for a fair catch at his own 19-yard line. So a team that has averaged over 400 yards in total offense this season is being totally harnessed today. And Lee Salts just not finding any place to throw the football. And Paul Palmer, while he has rushed for 100 yards, has not broken anything big. 38 yards on the punt, nothing on the return. Gentlemen?
Schenefeld doing a nice job punting today. Remember, his punt in the first half helped set up Temple's touchdown.
The Owls have already punted, I think, 7 times today. 7 or 8 times. And we're still got, 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
The lone setback is Albert Smith, and Gagliardi straight back. Throws it over the middle, wide open, caught at the 35-yard line by Raffelli, I believe. Greg Raffelli made the catch. His first catch of the day. The junior out of Vincenttown, New Jersey, tackled by Purvis Herder.
He's running a slant from the left side, and Gagliardi puts it right on the money. He almost dropped this ball, did Raffelli, but he remembered to catch it before he started to run. A lot of receivers just start running with the ball. He kind of waits, curls it into his body, and has it for the first down.
And the difference in quarterbacks is purely that Gagliardi has had time to throw the ball, certainly from the first quarter on. Prescott getting 4 very tough yards around the left side. He's rolled down by Chris D'Amico, number 61, the junior out of Philly.
D'Amico's playing today because Steve Dominowski, who we profiled in the pregame, is injured, and Bruce today deciding to go with D'Amico pretty much the whole way. So he's seeing a lot more action today than he has during the entire season, Sam.
When this play is over, we'll have only 2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. This game has gone like lightning. Smith and Walbrook in the backfield. First down, Rutgers across the 45 to the 47. Reynold Walbrook, a senior out of St. Albans, New York, the ball carrier. It doesn't make any difference who touches the ball for Rutgers. They have certainly found the holes, and you've got to credit that offensive line. They've got Rigoli with Udovich, Dillon, Getz, and Keating up front, and they are blowing Temple off the ball.
And you also have to point out somebody else, Albert Smith. He's the fullback. He's giving up his body up there, and he's blocking extremely well. You can talk all you want about the yardage that's being picked up by Prescott and Walbrook, but Smith, who is in a transitional stage going from tailback to fullback, is giving up himself for the team, and that's what every coach wants to see.
Eddie Parker is the injured Temple player. He is trotting off the field now, and apparently all right. Takes a big sigh of relief. A freshman out of Johnstown, Pennsylvania, number 8, Joe Greenwood, replaces him now at free safety, and that gave Gagliardi a chance to shoot over and have a little confab with Dick Anderson. I don't know that they need to talk. They seem to be on the same wavelength today very well.
They're on the same page. There's no doubt about that.
2:15 to go on a turning clock. Rutgers protecting a 10-7 lead, but certainly dominating this football game. Smith from the tailback position cuts it up and runs through tackles to the 38-yard line. And within a yard or two of another Rutgers first down. He just ran through tacklers, and Temple looks like a tired football team out there, Harry.
Well, it's the initial thrust at the line of scrimmage. We've said all day long that's where it's been. Look at the way the offense is just pushing the defense back a step or two, and that's all a back like Smith needs to get going. And then he does a little extra himself, breaking the tackle, leaving D'Amico behind him and a couple other out defenders.
It is second down and 2. Gibson in motion. Prescott squirming to the... I think I placed the ball at the 38. It was the 43-yard line. I was 5 yards downfield. This carry is to about the 41 and should be another Rutgers first down.
I get the sense, I don't know if you two do, that Rutgers can't wait to run the next play. They just want to get out there and they just want to drive the ball down the field. On the other hand, Temple is like a fighter that's backing up.
They're on their heels. There's no question about it.
I think this offensive unit exudes confidence right now.
Temple is going to have to get some leadership. Bob Pilkowskis, who has led this club from the middle linebacking slot virtually the entire football game and has been the sole redeeming quality about the defensive unit, as Prescott falls under Pilkowskis at the 40-yard line. And he is limited to a 1-yard gain, but Pilkowskis is going to have to get his troops rallied around him here.
I think Prescott got tripped up that time by his own tackle, Brenner, 76. Brenner was sprawled out, and as Prescott made his way to the hole, let's see if we can pick it up here on the replay. Gagliardi giving off there, and there goes, Brenner had his foot in the way, and Prescott never got a chance.
Good call,
to get through that hole.
Good call. Second down, 9 now, Rutgers. The only thing that'll stop Rutgers' offense is Rutgers' offense. Temple hasn't done much. Gagliardi wide open at the 35. All they're doing is hooking up the back 5 or 6 yards downfield, picking up 5 more, and Pilkowskis is quite upset. Prescott with a reception to the 31-yard line, and that will be close to another Rutgers first down, I believe it is.
Real good fake by Gagliardi, too. He put the football on his hip and let Prescott sneak out of the backfield. Harry, it's got to be the responsibility of those linebackers to pick up the back coming out.
Well, the linebackers are dropping back too far. They're leaving too much room between under them. And that's what Gagliardi's been exploiting the entire afternoon.
And they have succeeded in wiping out the third quarter here. This is a very quick football game, and Dick Anderson wants it to be played even quicker. He's got a 10-7 lead. His team is driving. We have completed 3 quarters from the vet in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Our score is Rutgers 10 and Temple 7. We'll be back right after this.
UNC
enjoy the action on the field and the added attraction along the sidelines. Cheerleading's the dream of many girls and guys. Now you can get your young athletes on their way to tryouts with Get Up and Cheer. Get Up and Cheer, a video cassette on the basics of cheerleading with instruction by the nationally recognized Penn State cheerleaders. Everything from warm-up exercises and proper technique to gymnastic tumbling and partner stunts, all demonstrated on this action-packed cassette. To order your VHS or beta copy of Get Up and Cheer, send a check or money order for $34.95 to TCS, Box 11300, 701 Alpha Drive, Pittsburgh 15238. Or use MasterCard or Visa. Call toll-free 800-531-5314. Add $2 for shipping and handling. Pennsylvania residents add 6% sales tax. Your little cheerleader will get unlimited enjoyment from Get Up and Cheer. Send your order now. TCS, Box 11300, 701 Alpha Drive, Pittsburgh 15238. Or call toll-free 800-531-5314 for MasterCard or Visa. Allow 6...
I gotta run.
What's so soon?
Yeah, I'm expecting a call from you know who.
I know who.
My phone.
Poor Barb. You need call forwarding.
Hello?
Get call forwarding.
Hello?
Call Bella, Pennsylvania at 1-800-462-2880. Then we won't be home. Your calls can come to you.
Hello?
And that sure beats missing your calls.
Yes?
That's the way you want it. Get away from my boy.
Next, on Return to Eden.
Because I have a tendency to shoot and then you double-cross me.
I've always lived dangerously. I don't intend to die that way.
What are you doing here, Taylor?
Stop by for a chat. And then it's only a matter of time before that chair is my chair. And this desk is my desk.
Return to Eden, Sunday at 9 on TV 29.
With Bruce Beck and Harry Donahue, Sam Nover back in the vet at Philly. Our support crew today, Al Leventhal, our statistician, Bob Russo, our spotter, John Grohall, the stage manager. Nice to have you with us. The sun shining brightly on a positively magnificent afternoon for football. And Rutgers now running the football from its 31-yard line of Temple and a gain of about 3 yards. It was 1st and 10 Rutgers, leading here 10-7. Prescott, the ball carrier, picking up about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. You want a stat to choke on? Temple has but 6 first downs in the game. Rutgers has 18. And passing the ball, Temple 16 yards in the air. Rutgers 127. That'll give you something to think about. And the stat there shows that almost 3 times as much in total offense for Rutgers as Temple. 2nd down and 7. Gagliardi is having himself a lovely day. Here's the blitz. He runs outside the containment to the 24-yard line. He was dragged down from behind by Jeff Ward and John Smith. And speaking of John Smith, Harry, he's been their leading tackler all year. And from what I understood coming in, just having a great year, but he's been virtually unheard of all day.
Well, that's true. And so far today, Gagliardi has done extremely well after those first couple series with the rollout. That time he held on to it again. On the other side of the coin, Temple has been unable defensively to adjust to the rollout of Gagliardi. That's got to be the key point, I think, in the way the game has gone since the first couple series.
They got good pressure on him when he stayed in the pocket, but once they started rolling him left and right, 3rd down and 4, play action, they got some pressure on him now. He delivers the ball, and it's incomplete at the 20-yard line. The one thing you got to say about Joe Gagliardi, he gets rid of the ball in the face of some very stern opposition and right in front.
Well, here is Pilkowskis, once again, the guy putting the pressure on it. He also is hampered here. He's got his left hand bandaged, and he is a little reluctant sometimes to use it. But he beats off a couple of blockers and takes a dead aim on the quarterback. And Gagliardi, I think Dick Anderson would have rather seen him throw it a little bit more toward the sideline instead of up in the air down the middle like he did.
Angstad has made good on a 43-yard attempt today. This one will be from 41 yards out. The placement, the kick by Tom. It's a line drive, and it sails wide to the left. It is no good. Angstad is now 1 out of 3 on the day, having missed from 41 and 51 yards. So with 13 and a half minutes to play in the game, there's a timeout again. Rutgers still leads it by 3. We'll be right back after this.
Make every meal a natural success. You'll love the goodness and quality of Odenwald fruits and the legal vegetables. Odenwald is an orchard of fine fruits, Hand-picked and perfectly preserved in their naturally light juices, Nolico vegetables are harvested at the peak of flavor and quick-packed to capture that farm freshness. Include the tempting taste of Lamogna ricotta cheese. Lamogna cheese brings out the best in pastas. Made with pure milk and hot-packed for freshness, Lamogna ricotta cheese refreshes salads and enhances desserts. It's a ricotta for all reasons.
The Atlantic difference.
Some people have already discovered the Atlantic difference. They make more money at Atlantic. Make more money at Atlantic. Some people keep more of what they make with broker discounts, lower credit costs, and tax shelters at Atlantic. Keep more of what you make at Atlantic. Atlantic Financial. We can make a difference. Here's another way.
We can make a difference.
So following the missed field goal attempt by Tom Angstadt, Temple takes over at its own 24-yard line. And the oddity, of course, in all the statistics we've been running by people, is the fact that Temple can still win this game. Rutgers can win the battle of the stats all day. Temple wants to win the game. And they're only 3 down. Hinnon in motion. Back to what they do the best. Palmer for about 4 yards off his own left tackle to about the 28-yard line.
Couple of points to make here. First of all, the Temple defense has bended much of the day, but they haven't broken. They've come up with the big plays in almost every series, and that's the reason Rutgers has only 10 points. And the other reason, because of the turnovers. The Owls defensively have come up with a big play. They're now giving the offense the chance to come through and generate something.
Temple has not scored fewer than 21 points this season. They have but 7 through 3 quarters today, and they're going to be faced with 3rd and long after that play was aborted. George Piquel, number 50, was not fooled on a delayed handoff. And it'll be 3rd down now, and 8 for Temple, a team that has completed 1 pass today.
After the 3rd quarter, Sam, in terms of time of possession, Rutgers has had it almost 8 minutes more than the Owls. It was 3 minutes at halftime, which means in that 3rd quarter, the offense for Rutgers was out there for 5 minutes more than the Temple offense.
Salt's on 3rd and 8. Has a little bit of time. Throws it over the middle, badly overthrown. He tried to get it to Paul Palmer out of the backfield. Threw it much too high and hard. It goes as an incompleted pass, and so Rutgers has held again 3 and out for Temple.
Palmer was wide open, too. He put a lot on that ball, did Saltz, and he may have just thrown it a little too hard because Palmer was a good 5 yards open, and if he had caught it, would have gotten a 1st down.
Harry, could we see James Thompson today? Is Arians prone to jerking?
A year ago, you would have seen him by now. I don't know if Bruce is going to bring in the kid or not. Maybe he thinks he's too rusty.
Fair catch by Dunster at the 36-yard line. A good high punt by Schenefeld that time. Nothing on the return. They spot the ball at the 37. It's a punt of 38 yards with no return.
You know, as you mentioned just a few seconds ago, as poorly perhaps as the offense is doing for Temple, they're still in the ball game. It's only a 3-point game with 12 minutes remaining. So, you know, regarding whether Thompson would come in from Saltz, I doubt it at this point. Although, you know, the coaches, like you said before, they're reliable to do anything to you. But I don't think so in this situation.
Let's take the ball and spot it at the 36 now and make that the line of scrimmage for the Scarlet Knights. Hoover is split wide to the left, and they give straight ahead. And that hole is filled momentarily. The handoff to the big fullback, Danny Lipset, for about 4 yards up to the 40-yard line. D'Amico filled the hole and made the stop, but Lipset almost ran over him.
Temple, a well-coached, well-drilled team, and when you have something like that, you're going to stay in the football game even when you're not playing well.
Well, the defense is really being asked to do a lot today because the offense obviously can't get on track. And D'Amico especially being asked to do a lot. There's Bruce Arians down there on the sidelines. He's realizing 61 D'Amico doing a heck of a job filling in for Steve Dominowski.
2nd down, and the handoff again to the tailback Prescott to the 45-yard line. Matt running very well with the football. And the tackle made by Smith, number 45, and D'Amico again. So again, Rutgers comes up 3rd and short, about 2.5 yards to keep the football.
I said at the beginning of the game that this young man is Rutgers' tailback of the future. So far today, 148 yards on 18 carries. Not bad for really a freshman because he was redshirted, so he's got 4 years of eligibility.
Out of Willingboro, New Jersey. 3rd down and short. They ask Prescott to get it for him, and he does, and more. To the 40 and the 35, and out of bounds on the far side. Eddie Parker with a saving tackle, but Prescott turned that corner in a hurry and had the first down and almost got 6.
Here's a young man that's not only going to be the future, but the now of the program. Look at his acceleration, getting to the outside. And you have to believe every time he touches the football, he's getting more and more confidence, because coming into this game, he really didn't carry the ball that much. He's getting to the outside, Sam, quickly, and that's key.
I didn't see the clear-out block, but somebody threw a beautiful one. 28 yards on the carry.
You talk about Willingboro, New Jersey. That's about 15 miles from where we're sitting right now, Sam.
You think he's got some friends in the building today?
He's got a lot of them. He's gaining a lot more, too.
Yeah. He is threatening the 200-yard mark today. Lips at the ball carrier inside the 25 for a gain of about 3 on first down. It is second down 7, Rutgers. And the important thing to Dick Anderson is, while his team is moving the football, they're working on the clock. We're under 10 and a half minutes now. We may play the fastest game in NCAA history, gentlemen.
Did you tell them about that date you had tonight?
The problem is we'll be here till 3:30. We've got some post-game lined up for you. Don't go away when this game is over. We may end it early, but we'll let you have some interviews from down on the field. One of the few times that a Rutgers ball carrier was trapped behind the line of scrimmage.
Jeff Ward, 99, was the guy that got in there. And Jeff has the unusual experience of having been recruited from Brussels, Belgium. He played over there. His father's in the service. He went to the American high school in Brussels, Belgium. I think they had a football team where they had to go out and borrow some Europeans to play. They didn't have that many guys suited up.
Gentlemen, we face a very important down here. 3rd down and 9, because if Temple can hold Rutgers to the field goal attempt, of course, a touchdown can still win the game. So they've moved up and down the field, but they haven't gotten into the end zone very often. Incomplete off the fingertips of Aaron Gibson. Defending with Purvis Herder, number 20. And so here comes Angstad again. He's only 1 out of 3. So as Bruce has mentioned, Temple has stiffened on a number of occasions.
Field goal is crucial here, because a field goal does give Rutgers the luxury of allowing Temple to kick a field goal and still hold the lead. This would force Temple to have to go get 6 points, a touchdown.
Got a different angle this time, too. The last time he hooked it from the left hash. Now, with the right hash, the hook may play to his advantage. Let's see what happens.
It'll be 42 yards if it's good. It'll be 42 yards, whatever it is. It's up, it's got the distance, and it is good. Tom Angstad, a 42-yard field goal. So he's 2 out of 4 today. And we've got a timeout on the field. The score, however, now is Rutgers 13 and Temple 7. We'll be back after this.
Dear Certs, how's this for a real Certs encounter? In the museum, looking at the Manet, I backed into a gorgeous woman in front of the Monet. Well, I don't know much about Impressionist art, but she made a great impression on me. Was I glad I had that Certs? Only Certs has a lively, fresh flavor and a glistening drop of Retsin, so it's all you need to freshen your breath and keep it that way. Well, Certs, the rest is art history. Certs and sugar-free Certs, just in case you're going to be face-to-face.
Trespassing at electrical substations or climbing utility poles is stupid and dangerous.
Tim, I really don't think it's a good idea.
Don't worry, I gotta go. They'll think I'm a chicken.
Don't go!
You can be severely burned, maimed, or killed.
Come on, Tim.
You're important to your real friends and family. They need you. For those who love you, live.
9:33 to play. You see the back of Bruce Arians. The front, I'm sure, is a little crimson at the moment. I'm sure he is a bit red-faced. His team has not played well today at all. It's 13-7. Here's Copland's kick, and it comes down to Palmer at the 10-yard line. 20, 30, 31-yard line, and that's where Temple will put the ball in play. A touchdown and a conversion away from the lead. 21 yards on the return.
Well, Harry, you were right. Angstad that time used a 9-iron from the right hash mark instead of a 7 from the left, and it made a difference.
43 yards on the field goal, and he's a kicker that hooks it in there like most sidewinders do, so anytime they're kicking from the right hash, it has to be to their advantage. What a difference a week makes with Lee Saltz. 307 yards is best in a college situation. Today he's got 16.
Play action pass. He's got a man over the middle, and it's complete to Poole up around the 45 of Rutgers, and that'll be a first down and only the second completed pass by Lee Saltz in this football game. 24 yards and a
first down to the Rutgers 46, and here come the Owls. And here comes the freeze on the play action. That's what he does best. Suddenly, the defenders realize what's happening, and he just touches it in there over the linebacker. That is something like when a running back makes that cut, you can't coach. The same thing with the touch pass from a quarterback.
Great fake.
And the surprise receiver, Shelley Poole, out of the backfield, the up back. Now play action, pitch to Palmer. Looking for a block at the corner. 45 to 40, cuts it back at the 38-yard line. And he was knocked down by Will Dunster in a good open field tackle shy of the sticks.
You know, earlier you mentioned Mike Hinnant, the tight end, is not going to get a lot of passes thrown to him. Out here he is blocking. He actually made a block there to stop the cornerback from coming up. And Palmer did the rest on his own. He's a tough guy to bring down in any case, especially open field.
And with that run, Paul Palmer is now over 100 yards rushing for the 9th straight football game. A remarkable record by this junior tailback. It is second down, and let's call it 2 now. Palis in motion. Straight ahead. Palmer, big hole to the 23-yard line. It is 1st and 10 Temple. 8:15 to play, and here come the Owls looking for the lead.
You see who was down in the pile there with Palmer? Big 70, John Reinstra. He's got 4.6 speed for the 40, and Palmer's running behind Shelley Poole. There's Hinnant again with a block, and Reinstra is actually downfield. There he is. Look at the block on the safety. No wonder he's going to be a first-round draft pick.
4.8 speed for that big fella. At the 23-yard line, Temple first down and 10, the I formation. Palmer again. Tried to get outside. It was tripped up at the 21-yard line. Couple of good tackles at the line of scrimmage. Number 69, Alec Koku, who's played one heck of a game, and Matt Backman, 59, the right side linebacker, combined to stop him.
The reason that Temple is so dangerous as a football team is that they have Paul Palmer, who on any given play can break it for a touchdown. So as long as there's time in that clock, watch out.
Second down 7 to the 21. 7.5 minutes to play. And Lee Saltz sees something he does not like, utilizes one of his 3 second-half timeouts and trots to the sideline to meet with Bruce Arians. 7:23 to play in a football game that has seen Rutgers dominate from start to finish, lead by 6, but all of a sudden find their lead in jeopardy. It's 13-7. We'll be back after this.
Make every meal a natural success. Begin with Rocca's gourmet pasta, made with durum semolina wheat flour and whole eggs and frozen for freshness. Rocca's tortellini with cheese or meat filling is deliciously different. Homemade pasta's never been so easy. Add the goodness and quality of Odenwald fruits and Noliko vegetables. Odenwald is an orchard of fine fruits, hand-picked and perfectly preserved in their naturally light juices. Noliko vegetables are harvested at the peak of flavor and quick-packed to capture that farm freshness.
Investing in Atlantic makes a difference. With 80% broker discounts, new tax shelters, and free stock tips. The new Atlantic Advantage card makes a difference. With higher CD rates, lower credit costs, and no-fee services. Making money and keeping it makes a difference. Atlantic Financial. We can make a difference. Here's another way.
We can make a difference.
That's a young linebacker who hasn't seen any action today. Steve Dominowski, the junior out of Mayfield, Pennsylvania, sorely missed, although D'Amico has played rather well in his place. We have a second down and 7 for Temple at the Rutgers 21-yard line. Rutgers leads Temple 13-7, but the Owls are threatening. Palmer behind a Shelley Poole block, and he's spun around by Stowe, fumbled the ball, but I don't believe they'll allow it. At the 15-yard line, they ruled that he was down. It'll be third down and about 2 to keep the ball. Tyrone's, no, they gave it to Rutgers. And Palmer comes out of there, and I thought it was infuriated at first, but I think he's more upset than anything else.
Well, that's his 29th carry. Let's see what happened as he takes the handoff, straight ahead blocking. Shelley Poole and Reinstra 70. There's the hit on him, and it looked like maybe it was yard loose right there.
It's an excellent call.
It's a good hit. And Palmer just lost the ball before he went to the down to the turf on his 29th carry.
Tremendous play by Tyrone Stowe. As you look at Palmer, who's obviously upset because Stowe took on Reinstra, pushed him aside, knocked the ball out. Great play by Stowe.
First turnover of the day for the Temple Owls. But that Scrappy Rutgers defense has done the job again. Prescott cannot get outside at the 15, and he's thrown down back of the 12-yard line. Matt tried to get outside. You know, Harry, we said a bit about it at the beginning of the program tonight, but Bruce and I did the Rutgers-Boston College game last week, and we became almost redundant in talking about this scrappy Rutgers defense because that game, for all intents and purposes, should have been a 45-10 Boston College win instead of 20-10. Rutgers defense kept them in time and again, and you see today how well they played.
And that's pretty good rushing all day long. 240 for the team, and Prescott approaching 200.
Second down and 10. Gagliardi looking to throw the ball. He's in trouble. Oh, bad tackle at the line of scrimmage, and he got away to about the 18-yard line. Somebody just made a brush tackle on him and never really made contact. He goes down at about the 18 or 20-yard line. It'll be third down and about 6 now for Rutgers. Smith and D'Amico making the stop.
As he's been doing all day, Gagliardi with the rollout. That time he was contained, but as you mentioned, Sam, some horseshoe tackling, as I call it. They're just getting close. You got to get in there and you got to bring them down.
I like the expression. I like the expression. 6 minutes to play in the game.
There's a frustrated guy right there. As the Gals were driving for a touchdown, Paul Palmer with 123 yards on the day fumbles it away.
This is a must stop for the Temple defense. Gagliardi over the middle. It's been open all day, and this time Campbell, the big tight end, made the catch. Now, whether or not he is marked shy of the first down remains to be seen. Nope, they spot the ball at 26. They may have to bring the sticks in.
Well, this is a full blitz on the play, and Campbell was open across the middle. What happens when you blitz, you leave an area vacated, and that's where the tight end comes in, and Campbell hit the opening and really went to the opening area.
And a lot of times on that call, that's a slight adjustment with the quarterback and his receivers. If the receivers are in sync with the quarterback and realize that the blitz is coming, they've got to forget what play was called in the huddle and go for whatever is open right off the line of scrimmage. And that's probably what happened that time between Campbell and Gagliardi.
And it was just enough for the first down. Dick Anderson with a big sigh of relief on the far side. Says 4 more downs now. They can work on the clock with 5.5 minutes to go, and it is turning. And so is the stomach of Bruce Arians in a 13-7 football game. He can't win without the football, and Gagliardi has been masterful in keeping it away from Temple today. Hoover in motion. On first down, they call on Prescott again. Outside to the 35. And he walked through a couple of tackles up to about the 37-yard line. What a day Matt Prescott is having. He will not soon forget this one, I can tell you that.
Watch the acceleration on Prescott as he just flew away from Chuck Cumro, the defensive tackle 50. Cumro is coming here with a shot, and then bingo, there goes Prescott turning it on, and Eddie Parker has to come up and make the tackle. He didn't even make the tackle as he got away from Harker as well.
The last man to get 200 yards rushing for Rutgers, J.J. Jennings, back in 1973, had 230. Prescott getting close.
186 for the sophomore running back. They give it to the fullback this time, straight ahead as Lipset. Across the 40 to the 41-yard line, and Rutgers doing what they've done so well today, controlling the ball, mixing up the pitch outside to Prescott, and then giving it up the gut to the big fullback. And Prescott now coming out of the game.
Looks like he may have pulled a hamstring. Let's see if we can pick it up. Makes that cut, and right there he reaches down. Right on the cut is where the pull occurred.
Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? Because he would have had it. One has to assume 4:11 to go. Temple leading or trailing here 13-7. Rutgers with the ball and the lead. We got a new tailback, Walbrook, number 25, and it was like, welcome back to the game, Mr. Walbrook. Todd Bowles, number 15.
And Doug Davis also was in there. I think Davis gave me a headache with that hit. Boy, did he get in there in a hurry.
Harry, I think Davis has played a sound football game. The senior from Clark Summit, Pennsylvania. Look at 49. He's been all over the field, both inside and playing the run to the outside. He's played well.
Davis is asked every week to go up against somebody that's going to weigh probably 30 pounds more than he is. He's listed at 246. I think they had to put a couple of weights on him, Sam, to get him up to 246 pounds.
Well, now Rutgers has called a timeout here to stop the clock. They've got a big situation, 3rd down and 9, and the clock showing only 3:25 to play in the game. So we've got a timeout here at the vet in Philadelphia. It is still Rutgers 13, Temple 7, but come on back with us. Rutgers with a big 3rd down play right after this.
$1? Get into the game. 7-11-21 from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Just rub off your tickets, add up your numbers, get 7, 11, or 21, and win up to $50,000 instantly. Grand prize, $1,000 a week for life. $1 million guaranteed.
Wow!
There's always a new $1 instant game for you to play. So play today. 7-11-21. It could happen to you.
Is one cough medicine right for all kinds of cough? No. That's why Robitussin, the #1 brand doctors recommend, comes in 4 different forms. Robitussin for dry coughs, DM to quiet persistent coughs, PE for coughs with a stuffy nose, CF for all those symptoms combined. Which Robitussin is right for you? Ask your doctor or pharmacist. And for your nighttime colds misery, try Robitussin Night Relief Colds Formula.
Well, that young man with his tie down has fought diligently all season, has come close to victory, but hasn't earned one yet. But he's got one in his grasp at the moment. Dick Anderson of Rutgers. 3rd down and 9 to keep the football. Gagliardi going to run it. Now going to throw it. Intercepted by Temple. And then I thought he threw the ball up for grabs. His knee touched the ground. That was close. Yeah, I don't think that anybody... Look at, they're still fighting for the ball. Now the referee is marking it's a dead ball at midfield. John Smith, guy we just said we haven't heard his name mentioned too often today. Gagliardi has time, but throws over the middle. It's always going to be crowded over the middle. Look at the great one-handed catch by Smith. And he goes down on one knee. Oh, he knows he's in right there. And he threw the ball up in the air. And Rutgers said, looky, we got it back again, you know. Boy, that would have been a real giveaway. But Smith knew what he was doing. Great one-handed catch. And then he goes down and he knows the dead ball right there. Back live. You couldn't ask for a better finish. 49-yard line. Temple could still win it. Here's the option to Palmer. The flag is down and he's trapped in his backfield at the 48. But a marker is down. The clock stopped with 3:10 to play in the game. Alec Koch has not been fooled once today, I don't believe. And the preliminary sign is holding against Temple. That'll be a very costly penalty. John Smith on the sidelines out of Penn Charter in Philadelphia, the Inter-Academic League. Big interception for him, his 3rd on the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time as far as the Owls are concerned. Yeah, you mentioned the academics. We don't dwell on it enough, Harry, but he's a very, very bright young man.
His coach up there at Penn Charter, Bill Gallagher, former running back for Notre Dame, played under Ara Parsekian with the Irish and out of Father Judge High School where he was an all-Catholic here in Philadelphia.
Holding on the offense. 1st down, 20 to go.
Remember, Temple spent the timeout with about 8 minutes to go. So they only have 2 left, and that may figure prominently later.
Clock starts to move again. It is 1st down and 20 for the Temple Owls back at their 39-yard line. Saltz throws a flare out here to Palmer, who can't hold on to the ball. He had a lot of running room up that sideline, too. It's almost like a screen that they set up. They bring about 2 or 3 linemen out to set up the downfield blocking. And Palmer just lost concentration, took his eyes off, and now it's up to Bruce Arians, a former college quarterback, to come up with the right play here on 2nd down and long. With the incompletion, the clock stops, of course, 2:56 to play. Saltz is 2 out of 9 for 40 yards throwing the football today. A far cry from his 14 out of 20 for over 300 yards last week. But this Rutgers defense is not chopped liver, I can tell you that. They have just been so game and so scrappy. Saltz play action pass. Looking downfield, arches one. He's got Garzinski and he caught the ball at the 36-yard line. 24 yards from Lee Saltz to Andy Garzinski. This is like a parachute behind enemy lines, the way he touches this into Garzinski. There's 4 Rutgers defenders around him, and the ball is right in Garzinski's hands on the run. Saltz couldn't have thrown it any better. From the 36-yard line of Rutgers, Saltz back to pass again. Palmer swinging out of the backfield to the 30. Puts a move on the linebacker and gets to the 26. He's tackled there by George Patel. That's 10 yards and very close to another 1st down by the Owls. And this crowd has come alive. Other than the touchdown run by Palmer in the 2nd quarter, they have had very little to cheer about today.
Palmer had just dropped one, so he made sure that he cradled the pumpkin on that time.
It is enough for a first down. 2:20 to play. Palmer tackled behind the line of scrimmage by number 41, Tyrone Stowe, and also George Pical. They have played a whale of a game.
They're going to use a timeout here to talk it over as we have 2:10 left to go, and Arians and Spencer Prescott, the fellow there in the white sweater, another former college running back, as we look again at the nice play by Stowe getting in on Palmer to stop him in his tracks and maybe cost him some yardage, a loss on the play. You know, right before that, Sam, for the first time this afternoon, we actually saw Palmer come out of the backfield in that zone coverage where the linebackers drop back, and just really a possession type of pass call by Saltz. Everything else has been downfield for 15, 25 yards.
At this time, TCS would like to thank the following individuals for their assistance in the production of today's telecast. From Rutgers University Athletic Director Fred Grunninger, Head Coach Dick Anderson, the Assistant Athletic Director Tom Peters, and Sports Information Director Bob Smith. And from Temple University, Athletic Director Gavin White, Assistant Athletic Director Mike Fetchko, the Head Coach Bruce Arians, the Sports Information Director Al Schreier, and the Assistant Sports Information Director Michael Kane. We thank you, gentlemen, one and all.
I think Temple realizes now that this is the last drive. They're down to one timeout. They're not going to get the football back if Rutgers gets the ball anyway, so this is do or die this series.
It is second down and 12 at the 28-yard line of Rutgers. Temple needs a touchdown and a conversion to win it. Rutgers needs to keep them out of the end zone for their first victory of the year. Option, Palmer. And another great play by Tyrone Stowe. You are precisely right, Harry. The 6'2", 225 junior out of Passaic, New Jersey, just absolutely would not be fooled on the play.
And once again, here's where the sidelines helped the Rutgers defense. They went with the option toss to the short side of the field.
Whoa, personal foul after the play. Apparently a dead ball foul against Rutgers. Let's see if we can find it.
All right, the pitch on the option from Saltz to Palmer. He's got no running room. The sidelines and Stowe both close in a hurry. And look at the hit. Out of bounds past the white strip, and that's about 4 yards wide.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Did it look intentional to you? He was slowing down. He certainly didn't hit him flagrant.
I don't think it has to be flagrant in that
Dead
situation.
ball, personal foul on the defense, first down.
As a matter of fact, most times the defender doesn't know where the sidelines is, and that's why he's got to be thinking all the times. And a play like that in this situation, the absolute cardinal sin of all cardinal sin.
I believe that was Lou Cipriano. Was it number 80? Here's Saltz, front out, 20 in the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown, Marshall. Unbelievable. Bedlam is broken loose here at the vet in Philadelphia. Screamers coming down from the stands. This is basically an alley-oop. Harold Carmichael earned a living doing this with the Philadelphia Eagles. Saltz with the short touch. Marshall leaps over the intended, or the defender, and he comes down with the ball in front of Gene Austin for the touchdown. And for Willie Marshall, and the conversion by Wright, the all-important conversion, gives Temple a 14-13 lead. But we still have a minute 57 to play. Let's take a look at it again. Following that controversial personal foul call against Rutgers, Lee Saltz wastes no time in throwing the 13-yard touchdown pass.
You know, I'm a little surprised that they put it up down here. They have plenty of time left to go with 2 minutes to go in the game, and they still won up to Willie Marshall, and he had, what, 2 defenders there and a linebacker closing. I thought they'd keep it on the ground with Palmer. They're only, what, inside the 20-yard line.
Well, this young man is happy, that's for sure. Willie Marshall, who beat Austin and Will Dunster, and the junior from Brown Mills, New Jersey. Just a fine individual effort.
And you're exactly right, Harry. It's not only a dubious call at that particular point, because they had time, and they had a timeout remaining, but I think the feeling there was to go get it, and Arians is such an incredible coach in that regard. He goes for the juggler, and he knows that Marshall's got the ability to go get the football.
But what it does now, with a minute 57, Angstad has a chance to win the football game with the field goal for Rutgers if they can just maintain possession, get a couple first downs, and get it down inside the 40-yard line.
I have a feeling that was the least of Bruce Arians' concerns.
That's true.
He needed the 7 first before he can worry about stopping 3.
You got that
And
right.
he got the 7. Now let's see what happens. And you're right, there is time to go. And Angstad has shown us range today of 43 yards. but he has missed on a 51 and 41-yarder. Albert Smith and Eric Young in the deep receiving spots. And Bill Wright, who kicked that all-important extra point for the lead, moves a line drive downfield. And it goes through the field of play into the end zone and will come out to the 20-yard line.
Willie Marshall.
There's your hero so far.
Take that sip, Willie.
We got a flag down at the 50-yard line, and this may have to come back again. If it's offside against Temple and it's on their side of the field, presumably it is. Rutgers will make them kick again to try to get the return.
Now, one of the questions that remains now is the condition of Matt Prescott, who left the game a little earlier with an injury to his hamstring. If he comes back and gets into the game, how effective will he be? How quickly will that hamstring go again? That'll be something to watch because he's been most of the Rutgers offense today.
Could it be that we are headed for our third straight one-point decision between Rutgers and Temple? Last 2 years have been decided by a point, and that's where we sit at the moment with 1:57 to go.
That's efficiency, that scoring drive. 1:20 to go 51 yards and get off 6 plays. That's pretty good football.
However, what is not written on that statistic is a 15-yard personal foul call out of bounds,
that was
dead
that
ball
big call
that kept the drive alive. And that will go down certainly in the books as being discussed for a long, long time. Albert Smith will run this one back from his 9-yard line. And he did not get the 20. So in taking the 5-yard penalty, Rutgers actually gives up a yard or two because Smith is only able to return the football to the 19. There's a happy Lee Saltz. It's been a long afternoon for him, but he may wind up with the last laugh in this game.
He came through in the clutch. That's the bottom line.
He only completed 3 passes all day. You know, oddly enough, the last game I did in this stadium, Temple, West Virginia, last year, he didn't complete a pass until there was a minute and a half to go in the game. Oh, just out of the outstretched reach of the intended receiver, number 29. Matt Prescott out of the backfield, who obviously, that'll answer your question about the hamstring.
He looks okay. Temple here defensively really can't go into a total pass prevent because they don't want to give up too much yard to set up the field goal. There's the combination that just hooked up for 6 points and put the Owls in a position to win this football game.
Gagliardi, 15 out of 27, 133 yards, but 2 interceptions today. It is 2nd down and 10. This is the screen, and it goes nowhere. He completed the pass to Dan Lipset, but the defensive play was made by John Smith, who's come alive in the last 5 minutes here, Bruce.
He sure has. The sign of a good football player, someone who comes and rises to the occasion when the pressure's on. The screen is set up to Lipset, and Smith just comes on and takes a one-on-one and gets the tackle.
And Dick Anderson has utilized the timeout. I believe that is the second for Rutgers here in the half. Or not? Is it only their first?
I think it's their first.
So they have 2 to go. It'll be 3rd down and 13 now for the Scarlet Knights, and I presume they'll have to throw the ball downfield. There's your whole story in a nutshell. Temple leads by 1. They lost last year by 1. They won the year before by 1. And Rutgers leads this series 8-6. Cool in the gang, ready to go on with a homecoming concert.
Well, this is pretty cool right now.
I don't know how the fans could enjoy anything as much as this finish.
Rutgers needs a bundle here. They need 14 yards, and he's got to go up top with it. And he's really had 2 plays because Rutgers will go for it on 4th if they have to.
I believe I was right about Rutgers. They did utilize a timeout earlier. We've been informed they have only 1 left. So that was their 2nd timeout. It is 3rd down and 13. Gagliardi out of the backfield, and the big hit at the 23-yard line on Prescott as they throw short again. So now they're faced with 4th down and about 7 to keep the drive alive. I don't know. I would question that call, Bruce. Here's another timeout.
Well, there are times when you go for half the distance needed, but in a situation like that, you have to go all the way. You don't know if anybody was open or if anybody wasn't.
Let us pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the TCS Sports Television Network.
This is WTAF TV 29 in Philadelphia.
It is do or die for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights as you look at the gentleman who at the moment is the hero of the game, Willie Marshall, who just a moment ago caught a touchdown pass of 13 yards from Lee Saltz. On the other side of the field, Dick Anderson talking with his senior quarterback, Joe Gagliardi. They are 4th down and 7 at their own 23-yard line, and they need to sustain the drive, obviously, to have any chance of a field goal.
Well, Gagliardi has to go up top. He has to throw the football, and it's all come down to this one play. It may come down to other plays, but first, he has to get by this one because this is it.
Rutgers with no timeouts remaining. It's a rather dangerous situation. Even if they should pick up the first down, the only other way they're going to be able to stop the clock is by moving the sticks, of course, a player injury or an incompleted pass. So here's your football game. 4th and 7. First down and 10, Rutgers at the 39-yard line. Eric Young with a leaping catch, and Gagliardi put that one right in his chest. Now the hurry-up offense. What a game saver that was.
Now they've got to move the ball quickly, but they've got to do things with rhyme and reason.
Gagliardi stops the clock on first down. And a good call over the head of Eric Young, the intended receiver. So they'll come up 2nd down and 10, just shy of their 40-yard line. They say that Gagliardi doesn't have nearly the arm that Rusty Hochberg does. But you've got to love his leadership ability and his intestinal fortitude. I mean, he just simply will not quit.
He had a great quote during the week. He said, "I know I will not fail." That's confidence for you. He sat back there in the pocket, and he completed the pass that he had to.
2nd down and 10. Rutgers trailing by 1. Throws the home run ball on the near sideline. He's got a man open, and it's intercepted by Temple. Purvis Herder. Gagliardi was intercepted 4 times last Saturday. That was his 3rd interception today. But he put the ball right on the money for Aaron Gibson. His only shortcoming may have been that he pulled the trigger a little bit late. Gibson was wide open 5 seconds earlier, or even 2 seconds earlier. But Herder closes on the football and is able to make the interception.
It was a little late in developing. Now watch Herder go up on this play and just make a tremendous interception. Both players did not have the ball. It was Herder clearly who had it, and Gagliardi took some shot as he threw the football. Now he has to just watch.
And Rutgers is unable to stop the clock. We're under a minute to play in the game, and Temple can take 3 more snaps. And Rutgers is helpless to do anything about it. What a great play by Purvis Herder, but I'll tell you something, Bruce. Gagliardi put that ball right into Gibson's mitts, and it was just a matter of who would come away with the ball.
The ball is certainly out there. Both players went for it. You know, if they both come down with it, the offensive man gets the possession. But it was clearly a case where Herder won the battle.
So in most heartbreaking fashion, Dick Anderson's Rutgers Scarlet Knights are going to go 0-4 and 1 tie. That's it. Bruce Arians walking across the field to meet Dick Anderson as the Temple Owls fighting uphill all season long, having started 0-3. They've come back with successive victories over East Carolina, Cincinnati, and Rutgers, but this one was a heart stopper. A 13-yard touchdown pass from Lee Saltz to Willie Marshall with about 2 minutes to play in the game, following a most controversial call on a personal foul call, and now Dick Anderson is walking off the field with the officials, letting his feelings be known. And, you know, the call may have been right, but you got to have a lot of guts to make that call at that point in the football game and under those circumstances, I would think.
Well, it was certainly a controversial call at that point in time. Temple executed a beautiful play after that. No one can question it. But what we're questioning is the opportunity that Temple had to go in there and score the winning touchdown, and they did.
So let's all take a moment here to catch our breath. This game is history. The 15th meeting of Rutgers and Temple, and for the 7th time, the Temple Owls have come away with a win by the skin of their teeth. 14-13, the final. We'll be back with our post-game report right after this.